Perhaps there was an age where people dreamed of the possibilities in the outer space.
With high expectations,
Hello.
human beings leave Earth to
Outer space! Every one of us!
This is a pretty large-scale
Test.
operation.
Right, but it'll be dangerous.
Hear me. All right,
That's never stopped us before.
Right, but it'll be dangerous.
Commence operation!
We'll commence operations in 7 minutes.
proceed to R2.
Understood. Second unit, stand by for orders.
Straight for the atmosphere.
All have to make it up to space! Be patient.
Tactics level cleared. Continuing on strategic.
As requested, you are now connected to outer space.
Never forget how beautiful the Earth looks from afar.
Outer space. It's so quiet. The remaining frontier is outer space.
Will you please come with me?
Where to?
Outer space.
I hope I'm not too late. I wonder how long I'll be able to see the moon like this.
The majority of people living in space are either technicians or laborers.
All right, take her out. Yeah, that's it. Keep her going.
All areas functioning.
Looks like we won't have any interference this time.
The shuttle will soon enter the atmosphere. Please be sure to fasten your seatbelt and remain seated.
Discord mic check. All right, good.
We're ready to enter the atmosphere.
Next time we go out to space, how about leaving yourself a little bit of free time? Talented people are capable of understanding us.
Ladies and gentlemen, over the years, Toonami's given you some of the greatest cartoon shows ever made. Now we're proud to present our newest edition, a program about love, honor, sacrifice, revenge, and a whole lot of destruction. Let's get things started. Gundam Fight all set, ready, go!
I will get rid of them with my own hands.
Your crime shall not go unpunished.
Still haven't figured out my true identity. Let's do it.
Now, fire!
What's happening? They think the planet Earth is nothing more than a playground.
Prove your worth to the Shaolin Temple.
Insane.
This, my love, my anger, and all of my sorrow. You intend to shoot your own brother? Will never be forgiven.
G Gundam, premiering next Monday at 5, only Toonami.
The age-old battle between Autobots and Decepticons has shifted to Earth. You have no way to stop us. Whoever can possess the minicons will command their great power. Now, every Transformer in the universe will fight to claim them or die trying. Now, 5 days a week, Transformers Armada, starting next Monday at 5:30. Much more than meets the eye. To turn it up, only Toonami.
What happens when a game becomes real and none of the rules apply? For a young sorcerer named Tsukasa, the virtual world of the game has become his reality.
Where am I?
Inside, Tsukasa can fight, make friends, feel pain.
Tsukasa.
The only thing he can't do is log out. Enter the world of God Hack Sai, premiering Saturday, February 1st at 3.
Let me go!
Hate the game, not the player.
Why me?
Only Toonami.
I, Lion-O, Lord of the Thundercats, proclaim it.
Destined to be king, you must be brave, Lion-O. It is your duty. Raise raised as a warrior.
Give me the sword.
You shall not have it while I live.
Born a hero, the Lord of the Thundercats is here to fight for Third Earth.
It is your destiny that you hold in your hand.
Thundercats, weekdays at 4. Part of Toonami.
We won't be intimidated by criminal threats.
Use any means necessary.
Feels like trouble.
All you have to do is defeat me. Whatever you want. Every weekday at 5, Cartoon Network's building you a better cartoon show. We call it Toonami. Weekdays 5 to 7. And check the midnight run every weeknight at 12.
The most anime on Saturday outside of Japan.
You just made my day.
Toonami, The Rising Sun, Saturday from 9 to noon. A day which will live in infamy. They struck without warning. In an instant, the city was enslaved.
We will fill this world with destruction, suffering, and death.
In the name of Emperor Tova, the Dark Lords of the Netherworld had come to claim our dimension. But an ancient prophecy foretold 5 warriors would appear with the power to destroy the evil dynasty.
What's happening? It has begun.
Ryo, Kento, Sai, Rowan, Sage. The Ronin warriors have returned to fight for our souls. Ronin warriors, today at 5:30. The boys are back in town. Only Toonami. For centuries untold, the Transformers have waged war across the universe.
Move out!
On one side, Autobots, peaceful defenders of Cybertron. The other, Decepticons, destructive scourge of the galaxy.
You have no way to stop us.
The prize? Minicons, an ancient race of power-enhancing Transformers. Inadvertently, 2 teams have activated a signal, bringing the chaos of this war to planet Earth.
You have something of mine.
Whoever can possess the Minicons will command their great power. Now, every Transformer in the universe will fight to claim them, or die trying.
Give it up, Megatron.
Transformers Armada, Friday at 4. Much more than meets the eye.
It's time to turn it up.
Only Toonami.
There's a predator on the streets of Gotham City. A predator who's dropping criminals like flies. And the Batman is set up to take the fall. When the lines between good and evil begin to blur, Gotham turns against him.
Batman, this is the police. You are under arrest. Freeze!
This Friday, The Dark Knight stands alone. Cartoon Network presents Mask of the Phantasm. Friday, December 1st at 5. Only Toonami. Nighttime in Toonami is changing, but it's always for the better. The Fleeter has awakened. At midnight, get all new episodes of Dragon Ball Z.
Where there's a will, there's a way.
Followed by Tenchi Muyo at 12:30.
Roger. Tenchi, I want you to flirt with me too.
Ah, get serious.
Toonami, The Midnight Run. Sleep is for the weak.
Please wake up.
The best reason to get out of bed. Toonami, The Rising Sun. Saturday mornings at 11. Only Toonami.
Yeah.
40 years ago, the world became a place without memories. In Paradigm City, the survivors struggle to rebuild society.
No one on this planet can possibly know everything. No one.
The rich close themselves into giant domes, while the poor live without protection. But Roger Smith stands for something more.
As a professional, I just try to do my best.
And he does it in serious style. Big
It's showtime.
enemies Boys of Paradigm City, beware. There's a new robot on the block.
You're not going anywhere. You crazy little fool. You're gonna get yourself killed. Finish me.
Big O. Starting Monday, April 2nd at 5:30. Good guys still wear black. Only Toonami.
C-Day went great. Got a little rest while you guys took the wheel. Time to do it again. This July, Toonami's giving the power back to the people. Stand and be counted. Go to Toonami.com all this week and pick our next series. We'll tally the votes, and the winning show starts July 16th at 5:30. The revolution is in your hands. Only Toonami.
Evil threatens all Eternia.
Once I have Grayskull's secrets, Eternia will be mine.
A small band of warriors have taken the call to arms.
You and your friends don't stand a chance. Destroy them!
They have but one hope. The strongest man in the universe. He-Man. Every weekday at 5. And catch a world premiere Fridays at 5.
I will be at your side.
Big guys with swords. There is a new evil awaiting Yusuke.
Sounds like fun.
He must stop Sensui and his minions from opening the Dark Gate and destroying the world.
I have to go save the world again.
But are his friends an even larger threat?
I'll take this one.
Yu Yu Hakusho coming up next.
Are you scared?
He's gonna need a bigger gun. In the year 2000, a brilliant scientist created the ultimate machine. A thinking, feeling robot with the power to save the world. Now, Earth's only hope against evil is a little boy with superpowers and the soul of a hero.
I don't think so.
Toonami presents the most legendary anime series of all time, Reborn, Osamu Tezuka's Astro Boy, premiering Monday, March 8th at 5. Boys don't cry.
That sounded like Dave, and the timing's as good as... Oh, did we lose him? Oh, maybe not.
Hey, there we go.
I heard you the whole time. I was just still playing the bumpers, but it is 7 p.m. So let's get going. Let me post this to FA, and we'll be ready to rock.
I'm a little slow. My Streamlabs is kicking up, but I'll be there momentarily.
All right, cool. I'm working on something that I hope Twitch doesn't ban. I'm gonna do all of his genitalia on separate acetate sheets. I've actually already started on them, but hopefully hopefully him fondling these balls in his hands doesn't get me in trouble.
Don't get banned.
I know. We'll see. Well, I'm always seeing what I can and cannot get away with, just so I know exactly where the line is, because that is where I will toe it. You know I will. So.
You're like the Velociraptors in Jurassic Park, always testing for weaknesses.
Yeah, or the similar Michael Crichton novel, Prey, where it was the nano swarm was always testing for weaknesses in like walls and stuff.
Yeah, Hazen Cruz is trying to get into Discord. Speaking of detecting weaknesses, it's checking for updates. It's got to check for updates to Discord before he can use it. What if there's like an update?
Oh my god, so it'll work better.
Yeah, now I'm making a quick social media post. I mean, I kind of already did, but I should...
I was on top of things. I had my layout done yesterday. I had my flats down before the stream even started. I had my posts written in advance. After such a horrible week, I was on it. I was on it.
Man, you sound like you're feeling. That sound like you're feeling better.
Doing pretty good. I've had 2 good days in a row, so that's nice. I haven't had the headaches since yesterday morning. That's the longest I've gone in over a week. So let's keep that going. Would have been nice to have it.
Things trending in the right direction. That's good to know.
Yeah. I have a few reasons for why I think that is. So we'll let everybody get in. Chat's asking, how are you both? I'm feeling productive. I don't know about Dave. He's usually feeling productive, so probably he's doing good. He put out
I was feeling pretty good, but then we went for a walk, and that was nice, but then I was like, I feel sleepy, so.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. Well, now
I took a cat nap, but now I'm back.
It's okay. I take a nap every day. I have to. Dave,
Yeah.
I wrote you 2 emails. The second. Oh, okay. So someone is writing you. Oh, it's the guy who won the big commission. So he's writing you many emails about what you have to draw.
Nice.
So, which hilariously now includes me. So I'm sorry about that, buddy. I gotta take one for the team.
No, that's perfectly fine. It'll be fun.
At first I thought I had the upper hand on you, but then I realized you actually held all the cards. Because I was like,
Well, I can draw you however I want now.
Exactly. I was like, he has to draw me naked. That's hilarious. Ha, how gay. Ha, Dave's a queero. And then I was like, oh no.
I've got to draw my... I can draw your dick like so small.
Exactly. I was like, oh no, he could give me a little dick or like draw me with a weird dick or, oh no, this is terrible. I've given him too much power. He'd give me like a teeny tiny little lightsaber red dog dick or something. That would suck.
It's a risk. You better make me happy.
I know. At first I thought it would be really funny, and then I realized what a fool I was. If I could have gotten Lady Bone in there, they wanted male bone. Nobody wanted to put their male characters in. I was like, all right, make the gay guy do.
There's an imbalance of they needed some more dicks. There was like way too much non-dick.
Everybody was submitting ladies. Nobody was as comfortable in their sexuality as me. So,
yeah.
I thought that.
Here we go. I'm getting my stream fired up now. I'm late, but not as late as Hazen Cruz in his Twitch or Discord updates. Ha ha ha.
He's the latest. He's the latest and the gayest. I didn't have any Discord updates,
this time.
or at least I didn't see them. So.
Yes, I want to go live. That's why I hit the go live button.
Are you sure?
All right. I think so, unless I don't know the psychological depths and the convoluted pathways that my mind is taking. But I should be streaming now.
Okay. Well, I'll tell you when it comes up on my screen when I can see it. All right, got all the stripes on, so I am ready to shade my little Enfield Academy guy here.
Hey, cool. Let me see. Oh, he's looking good, like a blue dragon with some stripes. I like him.
Yeah, he's cute. Very, 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 very cute piece. But you know, I was very happy with the pencils. So drew him all yesterday in one go. Did the roughs, then the tights, and I was like, all right, cool. That's not usually. I'm usually not that ahead on things for Saturday. So now, granted, I've got old Saturday commissions that still need to be finished, but you know, I had my week of nonstop migraines, so. That was fun.
We had 2020 really wanted to go out on a high note, I guess.
Yeah, I wanted to hit me one. Wanted to hit me one last time. I get it.
Speaking of like weird, like final 2020 like end notes, did you see I got that? It's apparently one of my most popular tweets ever. Is just like, hey, they DMCA'd me.
Nintendo did apparently over the Dreamkeepers logo because you're obviously trying to hone in on the Donkey Kong fandom.
That some people have theorized it's not actually Nintendo. It's someone dressed as Nintendo.
Oh.
And I don't know. Also, another fun theory, which I don't think it's accurate, but it's silly to speculate about. A few weeks ago, I got a job offer from a studio that works with Nintendo. It's the studio that does the what is it? The Metroid game adaptations.
Okay. Cool.
And I was like, oh, thank you very much for the offer, but I'm currently engaged, you know, because I'd much rather be doing my comic. And especially now that it's going well, it's like, I'm definitely not going to work on something else. I want to work on my comic. So a silly theory is, they were so spurned.
They're
like,
so
we
mad.
have to take him down. His TeePublic, the only way to get to him is the TeePublic shirt that nobody buys typically. Let's get it.
And the one that doesn't have a sexy girl on it. The one with a logo. Yeah, because I like logo T-shirts because I don't like shirts with like figures on them usually. I just like simple graphic tees. I'd probably lean more towards the logo one, but that's funny. And I know have you had any? What is TeePublic? Do they just, if someone files something, do they just have to take it down? Like, could you? That seems like a pretty easy to abuse system.
That's how all the systems are.
Hey, Hazen. So I think that's their policy. They're just like, hey, if someone gives us anything, you're down. That's it. Then if you want, you can counterfile. So I was like, okay, well, I'll counterfile. Let's do that, but whatever.
How's that going?
The way that works, if they DMCA something, they take it, any site will do this. They'll take it down and they'll say, hey, this company DMCA this, so we've temporarily removed it. So because we don't want to get sued. So if you would like to get sued, you can fucking deal with that shit. That's how those work.
Okay. No, I've had
Yeah,
stuff
well,
taken
Nintendo
down
can
on.
sue me.
I've had stuff taken down on Redbubble because it's fan art, but like people just flat out like publish logos on like Redbubble. It's basically don't screw up your keywords or your file name because that's what the systems look for. Don't put anything related to what it is fan art of, and just give it a generic name.
I felt like this was a lot more exciting when they portrayed it in Terminator 2, like the fictional version. The one that we have to live through is just boring and lame and terrible, and there's nothing you can do. It's like the machines are just going to destroy your ability to create a livelihood. There's nothing you can do about it. Have fun.
Yeah, no, I mean, my husband's playing Cyberpunk 2077 right now, and it's nothing like that game with this stuff. It's way more boring. I don't get to shoot anyone. There's no... well, I was going to make a joke about the genital customization options in the game, which were much lauded when they were announced, but are pitiful. They're absolutely pitiful.
Really?
Yeah.
They have genital customization, but it's not good enough.
Well, like, you can't do much with it. Like, the biggest the boobs get is a C cup. It's ridiculous. Like, I've seen it. It's nothing.
What? Why would you even have customization if you can't, like, have a
do
range?
The fun
that's
thing.
Realistic, even.
Yeah.
I think later there's some kind of, like, implant you can get or something in the actual game. People will mod that in, I think, too.
Well,
but
we have the PS4 version, though, so...
I honestly think, I think it's that way on every version. But I think that they just wanted to make one version of the game instead of having to babysit like a version for PS4 too much. Obviously, there's a port, but you know how PlayStation and Sony is about girls with huge tits.
They've gotten weird about that in the past. Like, I don't know why.
It's so weird because it's like, what about the body positivity stuff? Oh, that only counts towards things that should not be seen positively. I get it.
Yeah.
Like
body positivity, as long as you're born as a fucking hideous troll, like what is that fucking book? Harrison Bergeron? It's like that kind of shit.
Yeah. Body positivity if you're the Elephant Man, but
yeah.
Well, I mean, if
everybody has to call you beautiful.
And if it's socially unacceptable to have, we got a jingly sound. Daniel Zuniga, new like, thank you. But if it's socially unacceptable to portray or like discuss or have anything with like females where it's like, oh, they happen to have larger breasts, it's like, well, what do we do with the ones that have them? Do we have to like throw them into the ocean? What happens now?
Like I've like bigger boobs than C cups exists. I've had my hands around them. That's a real thing, developers.
Oh,
like,
they're definitely real.
Yeah, they're out there.
Oh, definitely. Let me tell you.
That's a thing.
They're great too.
Yeah, they are.
More of them in games.
I know. Like honestly, that's what upsets me.
Sometimes they're great.
Sometimes
they're great.
Well, people talk about how it's like, oh, I want the game to reflect my real experience. This is the only time it doesn't. I'm like, no, this doesn't reflect my real experience. Fuck you. Get the big ones in here. You can give your chick a cock, but you can't give her D cups. She can have a sheenus, but no.
Yeah, a sheenus. Yeah,
but no.
I think
big
what
boobs.
My
theory, big enough in that.
You can't make it. You can't even make your dick that big. You can make it like a little larger than average, but and like
what? Yeah,
cut or uncut, and that's it. I was like, come on, everybody wants a huge throbber.
Oh,
like, fuck off.
Did you hear though that there's like certain romance options you get locked out of in the game if you get a cut cock?
What? That's weird.
Yeah, there's some people that's like just won't fuck you if you have a cut cock, and it's like. I don't know. Like, I feel like it's kind of there to see if they can rile up those people who have like weird hang-ups, like the game dude about being circumcised.
Oh, really? Yeah. I mean, I'm circumcised. It's whatever. It looks nice. Like, you know.
I never knew like what the effects of that were, but like I know a guy who fucking got it done when he was like 30, and he was like, "Yeah, dude, just get it done. Like,
really?
it's fine. You don't lose anything." Yeah,
people are like, crazy about it. Like the circumcision.
I don't know if he had like a long foreskin or whatever. Yeah. Yeah, those anti-circumcision people are really.
They're really into it.
You know what? I get like that. Like, you know, oh, we should let people choose. Like, I kind of agree with that, but I just like it's just really I don't know. Apparently, it's not a big deal. And
it's a weird thing to base so much of your life around.
Yeah.
When I was before I was aware of anything, someone cut off a part of my penis that's cut off of most people, and I'm gonna talk about it forever. It's a little odd.
I don't know, man. Like, I know dudes who are cut and they just don't have fucking problems. Like their sex lives are fine.
Yeah, I'm fine. Like, it's all good.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's the principle of the thing, which is why Cyberpunk is so important. If they're going to have slider bars to customize your genitalia, they have to pioneer it properly. You don't announce a salad bar and then you go to the salad bar and it's just lettuce.
Yeah,
you gotta
exactly.
put some variety on there. You got to put some options.
No, I wanted people wanted weird and funny options because of course they did. And instead, it's like it's so vanilla that it's like it's even less than vanilla because it's not even realistic.
Well,
it's too tame.
We also kind of have to remember the game's not done. They just could not.
Certainly
they
true.
could. CD Projekt Red faced a choice last month. It was delay this game again and have no one buy it and everyone hate them, or go ahead and release a mostly finished version of it. And I think
that's the game
probably within the next couple of months. They have. I'm updating a 3.5 gigabyte download right now for an update for it. But
yeah,
I think that we will probably, maybe by the end of the month, we'll see a much more finished product. The driving is the thing I have the biggest complaint about. Not you driving, but like the AI of like pedestrians just driving around. There's no AI. Like, if you put something in their path, all traffic just halts. Nobody, like, traffic violations and shit, nobody comes to arrest you for it. Cops will just appear out of thin air if you commit a crime.
Oh, boy. I mean, they
Maybe
certainly
that
made
matches other people's lived experiences, though.
They certainly made an ambitious title, that's for sure, and it's interesting. But,
oh, my God, yes. I could talk for 3 hours about this game.
Well, I'm just saying, before we get into that, I do think it's important that they get the... again, the genitalia customization stuff right, because that's probably going to be a template for what we now, going forward. There's going to be more technology. People are like, oh, we shouldn't circumcise babies against their will. It's like, correct. In fact, what we should do is as soon as they pop out, we should give the babies a slider bar so they can decide for themselves what they want to have going on.
Yeah.
So if
big dick babies walking around.
2077, they could.
You know what?
Here's
if they
what
hit random, that's their choice.
Yeah, they're like, I want to have some plastic keys going on down there, whatever they want. But the thing is, we're probably going to be looking at like the Cyberpunk thing as sort of a foundation. If it's the first game you can do that in, so it's like you got to establish a lot of variety. You're dictating the choices of future generations of humans, and we've got to give people more choice than that.
Yeah, so come on, step it up, CD Projekt Red. I know you guys. I know you wanted to. I don't know why they held back so much. It was weird. I haven't played it yet, though. My husband's been playing it, so.
Yeah, nobody at my house has played it except me, because I've just been playing it the whole time. But I'll say this: it's one of the first games I've played in probably the last 10 years that I just can't. I don't ever want to put this down. Like, I just want to keep playing this. And
no, thank you, Christopher Winsett.
One of the things I admire the most about the game, and is so, oh my God, it's so fucking refreshing. Every game that tries to tell like a narrative like this about a character or whatever, they're all made by fucking nerds who got swirled in high school. They have no social skills. They don't know how people fucking interact with each other. They damn sure don't know how a drug deal goes. They see one on TV and they're like, yep, that's how it is. That's what they play things like. This game, that shit is, I'm telling you, it's like for real. It's like they fucking sat in on shit with people.
Those guys
and then we're like,
Poland
okay, this is how this goes. Oh my God. They've obviously hired people from fucking America that go through this stuff. Like, that's like one of the things people always, that when they visit from non-America, for me, I don't know if you guys get this, but they're always like, I want to see an American drug deal go down. I want to see if it's like TV. It's like, it's not like TV, dude. But like just the digital acting, the voice acting, like the guy Jackie that you fucking are partners with, there's a part where you're in like a drug deal with him, and if you know how to read people, you can read these characters the same way you actually read real people, and it checks out. Like, the guy is, you get to know him through like working with him, and he fucking is kind of anxious. He's got like this childlike sort of ambition, trying to like be somebody that gets remembered and shit. And he, during like one of the biggest like setups or one of the biggest deals he's gonna do, the big heist they're gonna fucking pull, he's like sitting there, he's got his arms out on the couch like he's trying to appear like he's relaxed, but his shoulders are pinned up and near his head, and his leg is doing that leg shake bounce thing on the couch when nobody else is doing that. And it's just it's the best sauce I've had in fucking 10 years. It's just so great. It feels like I'm right there with those fucking characters, and those characters are fucking real people in front of me.
Well, I haven't played it yet, but I did play and beat a game myself that I had very good experiences with. It was a divisive one, though. I was very sick the last week, so I just hung out on the couch and tried to get better. But I played to completion Death Stranding, which I really, really enjoyed.
Oh yeah, I played that a little bit last week too. I got it on sale.
Yeah, it was only $20.
That game's fucking amazing.
It's very slow.
That is amazing.
It's very slow. It's very strange, and I get why most gamers wouldn't like it, because it kind of goes against a lot of the quote-unquote rules of what makes a good game. But that's what I like about it, is that it's not just the same thing. It's not even paced remotely similarly to a normal game. It's the first game I've played in a long time, possibly ever, that respected my attention span. Like it actually assumed that I could just let things be or take a long time. And I'm like, yeah, I'm an adult. That's cool. So I'm enjoying it. Well, I enjoyed it a lot. The story was very good. Ridiculously good presentation. Like that game, for how because I've watched some bits of Cyberpunk and it's a little jank looking right now. I know they're still updating it, but Death Stranding looks really nice. Like, holy shit.
Oh yeah, Death Stranding was super polished, and like the people,
beautiful.
Sometimes I have trouble telling, like, if I'm watching like a scene where they just filmed actors at times.
I mean, yeah, the motion capture is fucking crazy. That where the technology's gone. And as a guy who's followed Hideo Kojima's career since Metal Gear Solid 2, just to like look at those cutscenes and where they've gone to this, it's like, holy cow, this technology is incredible.
This is what happens when you take the cuffs off, dude. When he's free of Konami and somebody looks at him and says, "We'll fund it. Do whatever the fuck you want."
All right, it's a game where all you do is fetch quests. That's not a good idea. Too bad. That's what I'm making, and it's great.
That's what I'm doing. You already said you'd fund it, idiot. Yeah, it's so obvious that he got the funding and the control to do whatever he wanted. He immediately said, "I'm going to invite all the celebrities that I always wanted to hang out with but never got to be in my game, and I'm going to scan their bodies with just their underwear, and I'm going to fucking have weird like bitmap fucking high-res textures of them, you know." And I think that's what he did. He just wanted to hang out with Norman Reedus, and because he tried to get him in PT, or he had him in PT.
He did, yeah.
And then all these other people that he's friends with, Guillermo del Toro and stuff.
Dude, yeah, Del Toro's in the game.
All these people are his
Del Toro has
people are his friends.
Del Toro has a shower scene. It's crazy.
Oh, I didn't know that.
It's the funniest. Dude, it's the funniest scene in the game. Trust me.
Yeah, I like that it doesn't assume you have like a 5-second attention span and shit. It's okay to take a long time to get those packages somewhere because you just get to see the landscape. You feel
it's just
like
nice to be in that world and listen to the nice music and think about stuff. Be attached to your little BB unit. You got to protect that little guy because he's cool.
Having to go all through that shit though, you feel like you're a fucking laborer. You feel like you really get put into the fucking shoes.
Well, I mean, it's
a
game where I found myself gasping in terror because my character like fell over. It's not like, oh, I was being shot or I fell off a cliff. It's like, oh, I tripped, and you're like, ah, no, I tripped. Even my husband was watching me, and he'd go when I would trip while playing. Like it's really weird.
It is very weird how that game sucks you the fuck in, like, and you are that character, but like you fall. I've not fallen over yet, but there's so many times where I almost ate shit. Yeah. Because like I didn't know you had to like auto balance the fucking.
You have to balance yourself.
Like, stick them on your suit.
Yeah. Oh yeah. If you don't do that, you have
to put packages on yourself in such a way that it's not like weighted to one side.
Yeah. You want to you want a low center of gravity. Don't be top heavy. You'll fall over.
Yeah, and I like how you have to like hold the trigger buttons to do the straps, because it makes you can't use those hands for anything else when you do that. Like it really feels like you're pulling your fucking straps on your chest up to walk with the fucking thing.
Yeah, it was. I avoided the game when it first came out because a lot of people were like, "Oh, it's boring, don't play," whatever. And I was like, "Oh, okay." But I saw it on sale for $20. I was sick. I was like, "All right, I want to give this a chance. $20, whatever." And then I ended up like
people for some reason thought I was gonna hate it.
Like I fucking loved it. I was like, oh my god, I wish I would have bought this day one because this is exactly what I want to see from more games.
More games need to be out there that not necessarily like Death Stranding, but there need to be, in my opinion, more games that give you some kind of a unique experience when you play them. And a lot of people argue that's not important. They just need to be fun. I agree with that too. They do need to be fun, and there needs to be some games that are just fun, like Cuphead and shit like that. But
there's room for a variety of games. Like
there's this big open field of shit that no one's fucking. There's this gold mine out there of like games that create a unique experience that you remember, and just no one's making that. No one's making games like that, and it's because they're hard. It's hard to write games like that.
Well, it's hard to make them sell because people want the familiar. It's it's the same thing we come across.
Unless you're Hideo Kojima.
Yeah, and I mean,
he's opened the floodgate now. He's opened the gate now. Like if people say like, "Hey, this gives me Death Stranding vibes," like, and it's like some indie game on Steam, you bet your ass people are gonna be buying that.
Yeah, because that game did do well ultimately, which makes me happy. I just remember when it came out, people.
And if you're out there listening, if you're out there listening and you make a game like that, please call me.
Yeah, please. That sounds cool. Like, we'd love to hear about it. If you make
I will help you sell that game.
Some weird pizza delivery game that takes forever and is sad.
Actually, I know.
Like, it sounds like you describe it. You sound like a crazy person. You're like, yeah, it's like all you do is deliver things, and it's upsetting. And sometimes you fall over. It was awesome. It's like, that sounds horrible.
Sometimes you get in this rain, and the rain like fucking
ages everything.
The flow of time. And then if the rain rains on your thing, it just fucking decays and fucking like rust and shit.
But it's okay because you've got a baby strapped to you, and the baby can detect ghosts. It's like what?
And the ghost can kill everything and make a big nuclear crater happen. But you come back, and everybody knows you come back. But everybody else dies.
But you're also very sad because you keep coming back. There was a part where like one of the first things you deliver in that fucking game is your mom's corpse to a fucking because when people die in that world for some reason, if their bodies aren't incinerated, they void out and they cause like an Akira explosion. Yeah.
They cause like a nuke explosion and everything gets destroyed. So void out is what they call it in the game, and like you have to deliver her corpse to a big incinerator thing up on top of a fucking mountain, and like I think there's my wife was watching me play and she's like, "Oh, I've seen this." Like she said, it doesn't matter what you do, you're gonna get caught by the BTs. And I'm like, I'm not getting touched by this fucking thing. And I like went away, like way out of the way, over on another top of another mountain and built ladder things going all the way down the fucking mountain. So I never got touched. I don't know if you're supposed to get got there or not, but I didn't. So nothing. I've not got a void out happen yet. I think there is like a thing you're supposed to fucking get.
The first void out is kind of like the big inciting incident of the game. Yes.
Well, are you supposed to get voided out there?
It's. I mean, I think it has to for the story to progress, unless I'm mistaken. Unless there's.
It didn't.
I
don't know.
What about beating the guy out there?
Yeah, the BTs that Bonus saying that also that's supposed to happen. I'm supposed to get got by the ghost.
That's what I was telling you.
But I didn't.
You see a cutscene with the guy.
Yeah.
With the mask.
I didn't see that. I did not fucking see any of that shit. And I'm just delivering packages, bro. It's not even a ghost game no more. Them ghosts is not even scary. It's like Luigi's Mansion.
I wouldn't doubt that there's a way to break the game. Like, that sounds like a Kojima thing to do. It's like, well, if you do this, then you can just keep delivering stuff, but then you don't get the story, and it'll never end or something weird, because he'd put that in there. Anyway, yeah.
I'm sure there's something like that, yeah.
There's all sorts of weird shit you can do. Junji Ito's in the game. That made me happy.
Cool.
Yeah.
Where is he?
He is when you get to the second big map, which you have not gotten to yet, I don't think, based on what you're telling me. He is the character known as the Engineer. That is Junji Ito.
Okay. Well, no, I don't think I've got. I'm at the part where they're like, Sam, you've got to reconnect America, and fucking like I think I got to the first and second thing. I just had my first run-in with these fucking hoodlums.
Oh, the mules. Okay, you'll find Junji Ito soon. Then you'll find him.
They tried to hit me with cattle prods, and I just like built ropes down a mountain, and they couldn't go down the mountain fast enough. So they didn't get me.
Just hit them with your car. It's great.
I don't have a car.
You'll get a car eventually. It's very fun.
Yeah, I saw a bike outside. I got an email, and it was like, "Hey, that bike is like totally fine, except it doesn't have like it won't start."
Once you can build generators, you'll be able to get the bike.
You build generators? Oh shit, man! I really want to play. I now have that and Cyberpunk, and I just
stuff.
like.
You got good experience.
What the fuck am I supposed to play? I have decision fatigue from these 2 games now.
2 games, and he's already done for. No, I was sick though, and I was like, this is what I'm gonna play until I feel better, and I beat it, and now I feel better. So maybe that was the key to feeling better from my migraines or whatever.
Why didn't the idiot doctors tell you that?
Yeah.
Like, you should play Death Stranding and beat it, then you'll feel better. It's like, nope, they didn't figure that out. You had to figure that out for yourself.
I had to go to 3 different doctors. Well, actually, what it ended up being was some upper respiratory infection, and I needed antibiotics the whole time. So started those a few days ago, and now I'm doing pretty good. So
sometimes stress, like just little like stress that just stays with you. Like me and Dave were talking about this, how like a little stress like that is just there and kind of goes away is like good for you. Actually, it kind of like exercises your stress muscle. But like if you have like this weird like low key like fucking chronic stress over something, like it's something that constantly stresses you out, like it can make you sick, it can fuck you up. So I don't know, maybe de-stressing was like helpful too. After CouchCon, dude, I was like, you know what, I'm taking a fucking week off all this shit, and like I just sat and played fucking Death Stranding and shit, and I feel better.
Well,
nice.
I've certainly been productive now that I'm starting to feel better, so that's been nice. But it was annoying to get sick right in time for CouchCon. You know, we've been like working on this project for months and all this shit, and it's just like, oh, and you can't participate because you feel horrible.
That was. I'm not sure if I was more sad or if it was funnier.
I mean, it is funny that I missed closing ceremonies again for completely different reasons is comical. Like I'm gonna make those closing ceremonies someday. God damn it! I'm gonna try again next summer.
I'll make you eat those words.
I mean, god damn, like brother can't catch a break. I still made some sales anyway. A bunch of people hit up the Redbubble. That was nice. Got some commissions, and a bunch of people paid for like. Paid off their payment plans. It was like CouchCon was like a big reminder, like, oh right, I got to pay for those.
So, speaking of sales, you did sell 2 wall scrolls this time.
Oh, hey, I had no idea how many I sold. So hey, 2 that's twice as many as last time. All right,
I'm about to email all the authors probably on Monday with the breakdown, so they know like roughly how many they sold and what to expect.
Yeah, from where I was sitting, it looked like everybody did pretty well. Like all the artists I knew personally or was friends with that kind of was there like participating and shit told me that they made money.
People seemed happy with it. It seemed like a lot happened that made it more difficult. I know our poor guest of honor, Reagan Lodge, he got hit by like an earthquake and his power went out in the middle, and he lives in like the woods, so he can't just be like, oh wow, they're gonna restore power to the apartment complex. It's like, no, he lives in like a cabin, so I don't know how when he needs to get power back,
power
he has to do it himself. But he got it
Poor
back.
Guy. God hates CouchCon.
It was surprisingly. I know, Hazen, your like car broke down or something.
Yeah, my well, the van broke down and we were using her car, and now her car has some kind of weird like issue where it like won't like turn over going up hills. It won't like change gears going up hills. It's automatic. Yeah, but it's at the shop. We can fix that one. Mine I need a new battery for, so I gotta save my pennies for a little while. Get a little batterage.
Battery's like what, like $400 or whatever? Nah, 200, right?
You can get some for like 200. Yeah. I just gotta get that together and get up there.
Sure, I get you. No, it's funny that a car breaking down would affect an at-home convention, but there we go. Just
yeah.
Oh my God, I got stranded on the way to the convention at my house.
Yeah, everything that could go wrong pretty much went wrong. Both leading up to and during. But despite that, it actually, considering everything that happened, I am surprised it went so smooth, and I'm really happy because that's cool.
It helps that we have a good back end, we've got a good team, and we prepared for a lot of things. So,
yeah.
As early pioneers into this new brave age of online conventions, we've had to figure out a lot of things very fast on our own. So if you're trying to do your online convention, you can hire us as consultants. So $50 an hour for that, please, and thank you.
Sounds reasonable.
What'd you say?
Thank you. Yeah, pay that shit in Bitcoin.
Oh, please do, please do. We all have crypto. We all have crypto wallets, which is great to have right now. So did I miss? Yeah. So did I miss any super cool CouchCon stuff? I've managed to talk with Dave a bit since the thing, but I have not talked with Hazen as much. So did I miss anything? Because I was there. I did half my panels, and then I just was like too sick. I was like, guys, I can't fucking do this.
Well. Geo had a really good panel. What I caught of it was great. I was kind of buzzing around a lot, but and a lot of the panels I wanted to watch were fucking right at the time when we had. What?
I was just saying, thank you, Sean Saints. He gave me a new carry on.
Oh, super. Okay, thanks, Sean. And I like a lot of the panels. Hold on a second. What? Yeah, that's not gonna bother nobody. So a lot of the panels I wanted to watch, like Reagan's and shit, were like right at the same time that the fucking skirmish matches were happening, which you missed that as well. Me commentating over those are probably some of the hypest skirmish matches we've ever seen.
Oh, okay.
I know that was actually pretty awesome.
I'm gonna probably continue to do that.
Oh, good. I'm glad that went. That was kind of a new thing we were feeling out, and we were like, well, that could add some flavor, and so it worked.
Oh yeah.
Great. Oh,
I thought it was great. Like, yeah. We had people come in and just kind of watch skirmish matches and stuff. It wasn't like a whole lot or anything, but there were people there.
And it was, for me, it was so fun listening to it commentated. It's the first time I felt like I was watching a sports game that I was actually interested in. So that was pretty cool.
I was interested in it because it was a sports game I did the art for.
Stadium crowd sounds in the background.
Which apparently one of them got copyright struck. One of our
one did. So I got another one, and I got like regular crowd sounds, and I just fucking looped them over each other at different fucking levels of like reverb, and then just like slowed some of them down, sped some of them up and shit, and you can't even tell.
That's a
you can't tell.
That's a copyright crowd sound right there. That's ridiculous. Like once again, this is the bad cyberpunk.
Yeah. But when I was listening to the replay right before it cut off and was like, oh, this part was copyright struck, right before it did that, suddenly I heard like rock music starting, like, and I was like, wait a minute, what is this rock music? And then it was like copyright strike. So maybe there was
maybe it was the music.
Because I've had that happen.
I don't know what that could have been. Yeah.
Where one time I had a copyright strike on some music that I wasn't listening to, and it's like I think it was like somehow in another tab, and I don't know why it was going through the stream, and I don't know. So maybe it was some weird thing like that.
I wonder where that music came from, because I don't, and I was wondering why it never like blocked any of the other parts of it. But
the thick plot.
I don't know. I gotta go listen to that and see what the fuck that music is, and see, because if I know what the song is, I can have a whole lot easier time telling where that came from.
Yeah, so I don't know if that's actually the cause of it, but I was just like, wait a minute, what is this sound? And then silence.
Cran is saying, my computer got deadline during my panel, and I lost more than half the time I had. Ooh, that stinks, buddy.
Oh, man.
Yeah, computer. Yeah, an online convention, some things that are issues are no longer issues. Other things that were not issues become issues. It is.
Oh yeah. All of the tech grief of streaming becomes suddenly very relevant.
You're like, it's just a stream. Who cares? It's like, no, this is the stream during the one-time event. We gotta make this work. Kit, you got not have respiratory infections. Too bad. I had been sick since I had COVID in March. Of course, waits for the weekend of the CouchCon.
Yeah, I still think probably a lot of this health stuff hitting all of us is because of the stress of running an event. Just kind of does hit you.
I hadn't been feeling particularly stressed. I don't know. I handle a lot of stress pretty well, I think, anyway. Maybe not. But I don't generally be like, oh, I'm so stressed out. It's just kind of, yeah, a lot of things suck. Whatever. I'll just keep drawing. But, maybe it got to me. Maybe, I don't know. Husband didn't get sick. Of course he didn't. He never catches anything from me. He's, like, impossible to get sick. But he was...
Yeah, if I have to ablate my immune system, I want his stem cells. His immune system is badass.
What the fuck is AJ made of? He's nothing but junk food, and he's just fine. He's just immune to everything. It's like, I don't know.
He's hitting that compound V, dude.
I don't know, dude. He's like I said. I remember I had COVID, and like nothing fucking happened to him. He thinks he might have gotten it, but just that it didn't do anything to him that he even really noticed.
Well, they do say ginger boosts your immune system.
He's very ginger. So.
Get it?
No, I heard you say
No, ginger boosts your immune system.
No, okay. I didn't even get the double entendre. Of course, the drunk stream last night. Hope you're feeling better than I am. I'm doing much better. It was rough going there. Sunday and I think it was Tuesday were really bad. Sunday was when I was in the ER because I thought my head was going to explode. It hurt so bad. Which I want to talk about my quick visit to the ER because I don't know if any of I talked to Dave. He has not done this yet, but Hazen, have you had the COVID-19 test?
No. God, no. They got to stick something back in the back of your fucking nose.
Yeah, they stick two things. They stick it in both sides of your nose, and it's hard, it's plastic, and they stick it in deep and relentlessly. It hurts like fuck.
Yeah.
They're
wanting to have contact with your sinuses.
Yeah. No, I think they're trying to take a sample of your brain. Like, it is... You think, like, oh, I can handle something deep in my nose. No, this hurts like shit. Because they do two of them, too. So it's a total of 3 pokes in the nose. And they have to hold it for 5 seconds, like, way up there. And they're pretty merciless about it. I almost accidentally punched the nurse out of reflex, like, because it hurts so bad. Like, I wouldn't normally do that kind of thing, but I was just like, you have to stop doing this. Like, I think I ended up just like smacking her arm away, but I almost hit her. Like, I was just like, Jesus.
Man, like the thing that confuses me isn't this thing insanely contagious? Like if you go and like blink at someone 37 miles away, like they just suddenly drop dead. So it's like, okay, so why can't they just measure whatever that is? Why do they have to go inside your brain to get a sample?
Yeah, I'm not a doctor, but man, that didn't feel very contagious with how deep and hard you had to go in there. Like, oh my God. I came back negative on all accounts, so no COVID, just boring stuff, but.
That's good. Well, because you should be immune. You had it already, right?
It only lasts for so long, is what they're saying, though. And then it's like the flu; it mutates and shit. So I was immune to that strain, and there's a new strain. It'll never end, and we'll wear masks forever, and we all love it.
Yeah. Actually, we were talking about that a little on the phone too, where everyone's like, "Oh well, you just have to muscle through 15 days to flatten the curve again and again and again." And it's like, why does anyone think this will ever stop? Like. Has the common cold, has that run its course and stopped? Has the regular flu just like, well, we did the flu, now that's over? It's like, no,
I said this exact thing to my mom the other day because you said it, and I think I blew her mind.
Yeah. It's like it's just a new disease. It's just a new disease that China made for us. Thank you very much, China.
Thanks,
I got a story about that in a second.
Oh, okay.
So it's like, okay, so now it's here, now we have it. Why would it necessarily go away? Like it'll probably just come around like every season. It'll be like the seasonal COVID. So are we allowed to live again? Are people allowed to go to jobs and have them? Or do we just have to starve to death because the flu exists times 2.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what the answer is, but it's not good. Did you say I also went down to Main Street and I saw the outdoor. Have you seen the outdoor greenhouses?
No.
It's the dude because legally restaurants can only open if they have outdoor dining. So to facilitate this, they've set up like one of this place called the Taqueria, La Taqueria, little Mexican place. It's really nice little place. But they've set up these little heated greenhouses essentially on the sidewalk, so they're very, very small, and that is quote unquote outside. But if you look at them, it's like that's more enclosed and a smaller amount of breathing space than if they were just in the regular restaurant. But this is legal. And part of me is like, that's very silly, that's stupid and doesn't make any sense. But then the other part of me is like, they're just trying to stay in business. So yeah, they're gonna do that. If legally that's what they have to do to stay in business, like of course that's what they're gonna do. It just looks, it's like having to play along with something you kind of know is dumb. I'm just like, okay, like what are we doing here?
And I mean, obviously, COVID is a real disease that kills people, and it's no good. But that said, I don't remember when there was a law passed where everybody was just like, oh yeah, we passed a law that was voted upon through a democratic process where we can just say that you're not allowed to work. We that's a law now. We just did it. It's like, in fact, there was a Supreme Court ruling in Michigan where the Supreme Court of Michigan was like, yeah, Gretsch, you overstepped there. You're not allowed to be doing this.
Yeah.
And so it's still like, why is it still happening? Does the law just like not matter? Is it just like, no, the government's kind of like a dictator for life situation. Whatever they say just goes.
I think these restaurants they're trying to avoid trouble. You know, they're like, listen, we just want to be paid and go to work. I've been of the opinion that it's like everybody's adults. If they want to go out, they know what the risks are. That's if you're at risk, and like, even my parents, God bless them, even they're on like yeah, if you want to go out, sure, if you're an adult, they're not going to risk it because they're older. Good, that's good. I don't want my parents getting hurt or sick. That's no good. They're good people, so. But I saw these little greenhouses downtown. I was like, this is the silliest looking thing. I took a picture of it even. I was like, these look goofy. The little taco eating greenhouses.
I just want to know what the rules of the game are, because it's like I thought it was one set of rules where it's like, oh yeah, voting and democracy and choice and personal liberties are a thing.
No, and
it's like, oh well, that does not seem to be the rules we're playing by. Those do not seem to be the rules in effect. So. Are we switching rule sets? Can we just acknowledge that? I think that the thing that bugs me is that they want the rule set where they're a dictator, but they want to get credit for the rule set where people have individual liberties. And it's like, yeah, but you shouldn't get credit for that because you're not letting people have that.
Yeah, it's super fucked, and just going downtown was a bizarre experience. So I was like, oh, I just had to get out of the house after being cooped up for so long.
Oh yeah.
And then I saw stuff that made me question everything. It's just like this is so silly, and I was like, but then my first thought was I can't post this to social media because there'll be two types of people. There will be people who say, yeah, no, this is real and this works, this is outdoors, this is good, and there will be other people who like don't get that it's like that it is silly, but that businesses just have to do this. So it'll be misunderstanding from like both extremes, and I'm just like, not worth it. I'll just show it to
plus
friends.
if it's anything related to the lockdown or like whether or not you would like masks, like if you say the wrong things, you might just be like erased from social media so fast. They are real on top of that censorship.
They're into it, and it's fucking weird. I don't get it. I'm like, man, people are too excited about this stuff. Democracy 2.0 sucks, yeah. Someone in the chat asking, Dave, did you see the new pic from Mancoin? I don't know who that is, but they said, you are in it. Okay, so someone named Mancoin apparently drew you.
Mancoin is cool. He does a lot of Dreamkeepers fan art. He does a lot of other art, too.
Oh, okay.
He's got a cool style. I think he even represented us at a European furry conference once that we couldn't make, but he was over there. So he was like, "Hey, I'll represent you at a table." So we're like, "Yeah, cool, thanks."
Oh, cool. That's actually really awesome. That's neat. I'd love to see the picture then. Now that we know.
I'm curious. I don't know if it's like, I guess up on Twitter or Discord or something. I'll hunt around for it later because that sounds fun.
If someone throws a link in the chat, I'll take a look. But you are allowed to post links in the chat. Just I'm not guaranteed to click them. So I don't got time. It's like when someone sends you. It's like, hey, I don't know why this has bugged me forever. People send me like links to songs. It's like, hey, you want to take 4 minutes to listen to this right now? It's like, no. I was already listening to something, and I don't want to interrupt it for this. No, but it's really awesome. Maybe. I don't know. But I don't know. Just like for a song, it's like, oh, I got to interrupt my whole groove just for you. For something I might not even like. Like, I might not even maybe I would like it, but I'm just not in the right mood for that kind of music. Like, it's a big ask sending that song link. It's a big ask. Don't do that.
You just set rates. Be like, I will listen to your song for, and then what's your current rate?
Oh my God, Dave! It's a picture of you with a katana stabbing Mario. What the fuck? Oh, because of the Nintendo fight.
It's from the Smash thing. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh my God, that was fast. I think that came out yesterday.
Oh, nice.
What?
Yeah, no, I think the DMCA takedown was either yesterday or the day before, I want to say. But it's so weird. It's like, it's flattering to get that much traction of something on Twitter, but also a little disheartening because it's like, oh, this does way better than art. Like conflict and drama and.
Oh, I know. It's so sad.
Yeah. It's like, that's what I should be doing to grow my Twitter presence is.
If you want to grow a Twitter presence, just get in fights nonstop. Like that's like if you look at the biggest accounts. No. If you look at the biggest accounts in furry, like they are just people that pick fights all day.
Well, you have to pick fights on a certain side, and we all know what that side is. It's the one that's the hive mind. Yeah.
You're not going to win You got to pick fights that have air support. You got to pick fights that the moderators of that platform are going to be on your team.
I'm not saying to actually do this. I'm saying if you want to, quote, if all you care about is seeing the numbers go up, that's the way to do it.
That is true.
It does work. It's just
I don't recommend it.
It's not good for you. It's not good for your soul. It's not good for anybody. But it will make.
It's not good for your future because like those people will eventually turn on you and eat you too.
Yeah, because eventually they'll want to fight with you, and you'll make a mistake that you can't for whatever reason recover from.
What do you mean you don't think Cyberpunk is transphobic?
Oh yeah, like, well, I don't. God, Reset Era. They're trying to win that fight, but the it's too big. Like people like the game more than they care about the Twitter account making an attack.
I am so glad that CD Projekt Red just doesn't respond to shit like that too.
Yeah, they're like the only developer that does
handle that.
I know they're the only developer that doesn't, and it's like, but look how much hate it earned them. It's like, yeah, look how much money it earned them. Fuck you. Like,
well, I don't understand why other developers do respond to that.
I don't know.
It's because they're fucking human. Like they see this, they work like for years on this fucking thing, and they see these people come on Twitter and being like, yeah, actually, I think maybe you're a Nazi, and then like they know that word means like you go to hell, like you just be the person from Earth. They're worried about that, so they get. They're worried about. Actually, I'm not a Nazi. Like all my employees are black, trans, Native Americans. Like they fucking go in there, start typing away at shit, and that's what they want. They do not understand these people don't actually care where your political affiliations lie. They just don't like something about you, and it's probably just that you made a game and they didn't, and they just
that's certainly that's certainly a big one. Is it tends to be the productive versus the non-productive.
They just want to tear it down, and they will do it by the fucking socially acceptable way to bully somebody, which is to just find anything that's at all like 1.00001% suspicious and blow that up as like, this person is definitely a Nazi. I think I think they made this game Silent Hill, and in this game there's no black people, so obviously they hate black people, so they're Nazi.
Well, they're Japanese. We already knew that. Like, duh.
Yeah.
What are you gonna do?
They're Japanese people making a game about people in Virginia. They don't know like what that's like. They just made a game.
They also don't care. Like.
Yeah, they don't. They just want to make a fucking game. Y'all just let these fucking people make games and shut up. If you don't like it, don't buy it.
See, but
there's
I
too
could
many
understand
options,
game
so now you have to
developers-
yell because there's too many
I
options.
could understand game developers maybe 5 years ago freaking out and be like, oh no, we got to make a public statement. Oh, we really have to respond to these psychos that are lying about us. It's very important. But this has been going on for so long now that it's no, if you're working in this industry, that's been very clearly established that there's a whole bunch of people that are just going to try to sling mud and get attention so it's weird to me that there's still game companies or game developers that don't understand that dynamic because it seems so obvious at this point. But
I was enjoying my beer. Sorry.
But at least the 2077 people, they seem to get it. They seem to understand that such bad faith, malicious sort of mudslinging is just below their attention, and they've got better things to do with their time. And it's round of applause, make some cool stuff.
They're a bunch of cool Polish guys. They don't give a fuck. They're just we speak Polski up here. We not care about your American social justice. They don't give a fuck in Poland. They're like, it's fucking cold. Get out of here. Oh, you want to call us Nazis? You want to call us Nazis? We got beaten by the Nazis. Fuck you. They killed all of our horses.
Really? Killed horses?
Oh, well, yeah, because the Polish special forces that went to riot against the Nazi Blitzkrieg were literally mounted cavalry.
Oh man!
Have you not?
Okay, so
you never seen them?
I didn't know.
They're the most badass, but really sad photos of all these Polish guys going off to ride against tanks on horses, and it's buddy, that's not gonna work. Yeah, they got
good try though.
There's a reason Poland got conquered in 4 days during World War II.
Going out there bringing a horse to a tank fight, that's not going to end well.
Yeah, it's where all the Polish technology jokes come from. Screen doors on a Polish
now they're making globally fucking acclaimed games.
Yeah, they're making some of the best games ever and actually not acting like total cucks about it. Not bending over backwards. No, they're trailblazers. They're setting an example, and I think more people need to follow suit.
Yeah,
I do too. I don't care if the game is kind of unfinished or whatever. I think even
a AAA game came out with bugs.
Great.
Oh my god! What else is new? They come out buggy. You wait a month, they're fixed. Generally speaking.
Yeah, apparently they were really bad. The night it got released, I downloaded it, but I didn't get to play it till the next day. And by the time I turned it on and played it, it was okay. It wasn't a huge mess.
AJ's had it crash a few times, but I've had very finished games still crash occasionally. Just so he hasn't had any game breaking glitches.
That's good.
He's been enjoying the fuck out of it. He's been really looking
cool. Always nice to see something get made that's actually awesome.
I know all this video.
Yeah,
game
for God's sake.
Dave's listening oh my god, I don't play any of these damn video games. I'm too old.
It's kind of fun to hear about them. Oh yeah, that's in my day, Tetris. I can relate to you.
Well, I know it's tangential to what we do, the comics, and they're both creative industries, and they tap a lot of the same fan bases. A lot of people that read comics also play video games, so there's plenty of crossover.
Some of the same social challenges, I guess we could call it, will crop up too.
Yeah.
A bunch of people in the chat talking about Nintendo.
I'm sure that the hustle.
Yeah, how's the chat doing? Thank you for the Discord. We're stepping all over each other.
What can you do? What can you do? We do the best we can. That's why if our conversation ever sounds unnatural, that's why also if you're wow, they sure interrupt each other a lot. We do anyway, but the lag makes it worse.
Yeah. I still remember that one time you were streaming here after I got my diagnosis, and you were holding my hand in sympathy. Mm-hmm. It was so fun to stream from the same room because it was so much easier to talk.
It was oh, this is how we actually talk, and I wonder if listeners picked up on that, where it's like, oh, Kit and Dave's like conversation flow is different this time. I can't put my finger on it, but something. I don't know.
Yeah, but being in the same room definitely helps the conversation flow, if nothing else.
It is nice, and I'm glad we kind of have a decent setup at your place, so we can do that again in the future, because I would like to. So.
Yeah, that'd be fun. Anytime if you want to come over here and paint, we could even get it set up a little more in advance, hopefully.
Yeah, I was just making sure I was, I think we were going to try and hang out early this week, but I was making sure I was better. So that it wasn't like, well, we decided to hang out, but Kit's having migraines, so you can sit in the dark with him, I guess, and talk quietly. Wow, what a fun hangout.
Snake Pit.
Meeting of the minds.
NPR edition of Snake Pit, where we talk quietly in a dim room and listen to some relaxing tunes.
With a little tiny desk. I'm Audie Cornish.
I'm Diane Reams.
That's one of the fucking women who do like the NPR shit.
No,
like,
I said Diane Reams.
Top of the hour shit. Diane Reams and Audie Cornish.
Diane Reams, she's got the awful voice and somehow has been in radio for decades.
I'm Diane Reams.
She sounds awful. My mom loves
the radio.
My mom loves NPR, but she will not listen to Diane Reams. She just changes the channel. She's like,
I loved NPR before Trump got elected or started running.
Yeah, it got bad.
They used to be sort of like they leaned left, but they were pretty fair about things. And then like Trump started, I'm going to run for president, and they were just like, did you know Trump is gay and bad, and he has a stinky butthole?
Very good reporting.
NPR, you're doing this too, really? Okay.
Nobody could help themselves. They just every single, like, a lot of the people that held out on being like, okay, well, we have some integrity. The Trump stuff happened, and it's just they were just like, we all have to go insane now, like for 4 years straight.
They really did too. It's like, I don't know. I don't think it just seems like there's some people where you can tell marching orders came down, whether it was explicit or implicit, but it's like, no, your social position and your career and everything is contingent upon you towing this line, because if you don't, you're going to be done one way or another. And people picked up on that, and everyone towed the line pretty much.
You got to talk about Trump a lot. I don't want to talk about Trump. You have to.
Like, you can't talk about like actual interesting things that are going on in the country, or like, oh, there's this, they found out there was this big weird thing in Papua New Guinea where people are still eating each other, and we're just reporting on it. We're not saying anything should or should not be done. We're just letting you know what they found.
Like, hey, if you had travel plans to Papua New Guinea, maybe reconsider. Or if you're into cannibalism, go to Papua New Guinea. Like,
Yeah, maybe stay longer. Yeah, so like they would just report on shit all over the world that was happening and stuff, and I thought it was very interesting to hear. It was very interesting to hear that shit, as I usually lean right on a lot of issues, except for when it comes to social shit. Sure. So, like, it was interesting to hear the left-leaning position on that. Not even like heavily leaning, I wouldn't say. Very light. It was very neutral. But now it's literally all just like I remember one of the things they did that pissed me off, like before when Obama was president, was the TPP, Trans-Pacific Partnership, was going on. You've heard me talk about that.
Yeah.
They everybody was like, why the fuck are you guys not covering this? Like a lot. This is huge. This could affect everything. And then I remember they got in a fight on, I think it was on Twitter, with like people who listen to their stupid radio station, and they were just like, we did cover this, actually. We had a whole thing. Just because this is important to you doesn't mean these other issues aren't important to people. It's like, I think a joint international court system that China runs that affects people in the U.S., I think that's a little more important than whatever fucking Paula Dean's putting on her fucking Ritz crackers. There's one sort of weighs a little heavier, I think.
I'm still so grateful. I'm still so grateful that the TPP got shut down. That was going to be a nightmare.
First thing Trump did.
I'm serious. Even if he did like literally nothing else the whole term, whatever, like the TPP being shut down, it was worth it it was so worth it. That thing was going to set up like
bad.
corporate tribunals that had ultra-national power to judge people. It was insane.
Yeah, and no one was talking about it. Like they covered it one time at like 4 a.m. on some fucking show. Nobody listens to NPR at that hour, and they were like, "We totally covered it, guys. It's fine. What are you talking about? We did a thing on this."
And again, it's pretty clear. It's like, okay, there's a bunch of establishment bigwigs that want this, and you got your marching orders, and you followed them. And that's why you're not news anymore. You're just establishment spin. You're worthless.
Yeah, and that was when I was like, I think today is the day I am not going to listen to NPR anymore. And I was right, because every time I tuned into it, it's just like, just garbage about how Trump is big gay or something. Like, okay, all right, thanks. Thanks. I hear this everywhere else. I don't need an interesting news station to listen to or anything.
I remember the last thing on NPR I listened to, I was like, I can't do this anymore. It was they had a guy on who was talking about like cooking with like differently sourced ingredients, but that's not how. Well, that's not how he put it though. What he called it was identity cooking. And yeah, and he was like a crazy person who one of the things was he kept a magic bag around his neck which held items in it, but he wouldn't tell
magic bag.
But he wouldn't tell anybody what the items were, and it's like, okay, so you just keep that on you to like get attention because you know people are gonna ask about the bag, and then you're gonna tell them they can't see what's in it, so naturally it's gonna make them want to know what's in it. It's just like a big attention gambit. No, it's very spiritual.
Magic.
See, I looked back at my ancestry records, and the people of blah, blah, blah did this. And it's like, no, first of all, no, they didn't. 2, even if they did, doesn't matter. 3, you're annoying. 4, you're doing a segment called Identity Cooking. And it was all about, like, finding your ancestry and only using ingredients from your ancestry. And I'm like, bitch, I'm German. That means all I got to eat is sauerkraut. Fuck off. Like... It was the worst segment ever. Me and my mom were listening to it together, and we were like, this is terrible. And, like, the guy talking, we're just like, is this guy, like, an idiot? Like, we were both just like, he's, like, gotta be, like, retarded, right? Like, he sounded like a moron. And, of course, the presenters are like, no, this identity cooking and the magic bag around your neck. Now, what's that about? And he would, just babble, and it was like, oh, you're retarded. Got it. I don't know. They would take just like the dumbest people and present them as being really interesting.
Yeah.
They had one that was about people who lived in like houses with bug infestations, and they wouldn't.
Oh, that's not good.
But they like wouldn't ask the people like, well, did you do anything about it? Like, did you try and get rid of the bugs? They would just talk about how hard it was to live with lots of cockroaches in your house. They not once did they ask.
Well, that is tough.
They were like, did you try to get rid of them? Never asked that. Nothing about, did you get, like, some raid? Did you call pest control? It was just like, no, there's a lot of bugs. It's bad. I was like, what the fuck is this? Like, this sounds like people who are just living with bugs because they're lazy. Because it's easier to just be like, some cockroach bites at night. Whatever, I don't want to clean this shit up. It was ridiculous.
No, like, they really do sometimes have weird segments like that. And I also really, there's like one music thing they do I always really fucking hated too, because it would just always be so awful. And it got worse too. I think it was World Cafe, but it was, I can't fucking remember. I'm going to say it was World Cafe. There's another music thing they do. I think it might have been that one, but it would just always have like songs from all, people all around the world, like artists from fucking Africa, artists from fucking Sweden, like just wherever. And, I remember like one of the nights, like after Trump announced he was running, there was a song, and it was just like some fucking American, like grungy rock song. And I was like, this seems unfitting for this. And then it was just like, I don't see no red or blue. All I see is white. And I was just like, okay, I'm not listening to NPR anymore. I'm fucking tired of this shit.
Okay, one more. They were doing, it wasn't even like they were an artist or they made anything. They were just talking about like, it was like, here's our segment on different people and their relations to time. I'm like, okay, time as a concept, sure. Broad theory, whatever. But it was just like some weird person in Europe who only did things in an old-fashioned way and only collected antiques. And, like, I do things relatively old-fashioned with my art. I get it. I like that stuff. But they talked to this person, and it was just like, as it went, like, they kept trying to frame it as, oh, they're very interesting and very deep. But as it went on, I was like, this person's just like a schizophrenic. Like, this is a mentally unwell person, and you're trying to present them as, like, weird and kooky and kind of outlandish. It's like, no, this person's, like, not well, and, like, they're probably their whole family hates them because they're like this, and they refuse to get help. Like, it was just not good. It just made me feel bad. I was like, oh, this is gross. Like,
yeah, I just don't know, like, what happened, because it used to be so great.
Yeah,
like, maybe
I just didn't notice, but there was just the identity cooking was the one that finally got me. I was like, all right, fuck this. This guy with the magic bag around his neck, like, fuck off.
It sounds like a Sam Hyde skit.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, it does. Like when he fucking went to the TEDx talk.
Yeah, like it's that kind of stuff, but they're taking it very seriously, and it's like, no, you're interviewing very silly people with very dumb ideas. Please stop giving them, like, or if you are going to interview them, like, poke holes in this stuff, because I'm listening and I can do it. Like, ask the people in the bug houses, like, well, did you try and get rid of the bugs? Like, not just let the cockroaches bite you all night? Oh, we hadn't thought of that. Like,
oh, I never crossed my mind.
Well, and, like, even then, it's like, probably the story is like, yeah, we tried to get rid of them, it's been very difficult, or the pest control won't come out to this area. Like, it's like, there was never addressed, like, why can't they get rid of the bugs? Most people can get rid of bugs. And it wasn't even, like, the hard to get rid of, like, like bed bugs, super hard to get rid of. Dave's had experience with that. But you tried to get rid of them, and you eventually did, sort of. I know it was like your neighbors had them and they didn't care, but
yeah,
I don't know. Maybe they were interviewing your neighbors. Maybe that was the issue.
Maybe, but yeah, like, I know, like, I think bed bugs are, like, some of the worst of the worst you can deal with. So when we had, like, an issue pop up, we're like, oh, DEFCON 5, we're going full nuclear on this. We had to put, like, you had to go bananas. It was not easy. It was like, yeah, literally everything we have in plastic. So there's nowhere else they could possibly nest. You have to sequester the bed. You have to get, like, this thing around the mattress so that they are, like, locked inside of it and they can never leave. And it has to be a special kind too, because the normal kinds, they can just crawl out through the zipper, like, in between the zipper gaps.
Yeah.
So you have to, like, we had to do all this stuff. When the exterminator did come out, he was like, yeah, I have never seen someone that, like, had this good of a setup. This is amazing. And so, yeah, we, like, fixed it, and it was like, cool, mission accomplished. And then they're like, and we got to check all the adjacent apartments too, because, you never know, they get around. And then they came back from that. They're like, oh yeah, this did not start with you guys. Holy shit, the place below you. Wow. And the people below us, like, they wouldn't implement any of the stuff.
Didn't give a fuck.
They wouldn't,
from what
like,
you told
get
me.
rid of the things there. But yeah, like, I mean, you go in there and it's like a scene from Aliens or something. It was just like according to the exterminator, it was a nightmare. But they wouldn't do any of the stuff to get rid of the infestation. So I realized, oh, as long as we live here, they're just gonna keep on. Yeah, it's like, because we can't get rid of it, because we can't go to the source of the problem, which is the neighbors. And I mean, that was a big part of the motivation to finally be like, yeah, we really need to get a house, because this ain't gonna fly. This is not something we want to live with.
We had German roaches in our last apartment, and it, like,
German roaches?
I talked to an actual exterminator. It was like, yeah, you can't kill those things with the spray. You have to put out bait, because they eat it. They go back into their little hive or whatever, and they fucking die from the poison. And then, like, if you don't leave food out, and so they have to eat each other, and they just keep eating that poison over and over and dying. But, like, I told the apartment complex this, and they were like, okay, we'll let the people know. And they just came and kept fucking spraying. And they wouldn't spray, like, empty apartments no one was living in. They wouldn't spray the outside of the building, nothing. So, like, they just would die for, like, 2 days and then come right fucking back.
Jeez, that's fantastic.
Classic German roaches.
The bed bugs, oh my god. Yeah, bed
classic
bugs, PTSD you for the rest of your life.
No joke. I realized dealing with that, I was like, oh, like this is why the brain can do obsessive compulsive. This is like normally OCD is pathological. Normally OCD stuff, it's like, oh, that's not necessary. Why would you do that? It's so crazy. But in this situation, it's like being OCD is how you like deal with it, and it's the only way. So it's like, I understand now. There's actually a point to OCD, and it's this.
Huh. It's bed bugs.
Mm-hmm.
They're really good at bugs in our place. We've never no, I had that air conditioning unit the potato bugs kept coming out of, but that really wasn't like a big deal. It was just kind of like, oh, those weird things. And you just pick them up and throw them in the toilet. But we've never had bed bug issues. I don't know. They're just like dumb and slow and don't do anything. You're just like, oh, it's one of those. Okay. You know? And then we replaced the AC unit. Now they're not an issue. So.
Knock on wood. If you ever do have an emergency situation with the bed bugs, just let me know. We still got all the equipment and stuff. We could loan you some of the climb up interceptors and diatomaceous earth and all that stuff.
I've read like nightmare stories about bed bugs. It like fucks with people's brains. Like they get like there's like whole communities dedicated to like support groups because people don't believe how bad it is and all this crazy stuff. I'm like, what, man? This sounds like the worst thing in the world.
It's basically these ticks that are just all in your house, and they're really, really small.
Yeah,
and you just can't ever fucking get rid of them. And they just they just bite you and leave, and they don't even stay on where you can get to them.
Yeah, guess who doesn't like ticks? This guy. So don't want those.
Well, I knew that's why I said that, but like they fucking like apparently like if you have never had bed bugs, but like if you have them, if you get infested with them, like every little fucking crumb or something that looks kind of like out of place on the floor or on like a table, you fucking like it gives you like a fucking fight or flight reaction because it's like, holy fucking shit, it's bed bugs.
I know.
Oh yeah, no, I had that going on.
Isabella had a roommate that had bed bugs. God, that story's oh no, because they kept finding them, and like I don't know if you've met Isabella's husband. Well, you've met Matt. Her fiance.
Yeah.
He's a good guy. He's ridiculously clean. He's just like the cleanest guy. Like everything in his house is spotless and organized. All 1,000 million fish that he owns are all fed and maintained perfectly. He has a ton of fish tanks, but he had a roommate and like bed bugs kept getting back bed bugs kept getting back in their place, and he's like, where the fuck are these coming from? They finally went in the roommate's room and like flipped his mattress and said there were like black spots under his bed, and they were like, ah. It was
that'll do it.
And it was just like, yeah, they're coming from in here, not me, the clean guy.
And I mean, if you do suspect that you have them, you gotta jump on it as fast as possible because the earlier you can get it, the better. Like it can get so bad if it really picks up steam, like because they can go and like hide themselves in so many places.
They can live
hide,
in
like,
anything.
Inside of, they can hide in like books and DVD cases. They can hide inside alarm clocks and inside of wall outlets. They'll go in the floor. They'll go inside the walls. Like it's just a nightmare if the infestation starts to spread. And that's why when it first starts, Yellis. Oh, I'm talking to Bone and Hazen. And that's why the first thing that you have to do, which I was like, oh, this is a nightmare, is they're like, oh yeah, if you think you have an infestation, get the thing to wrap your mattress, all that. But before that comes, don't go and sleep on the couch. You have to sleep in your bed, and you have to keep sleeping in your bed.
Yeah, you told me about this, and it's the worst.
Because it's like, even though they're in the mattress, they're going to come out and feed on you. You have to try to sleep with that, because if you go to the couch or something, then they're going to start to migrate because they're going to go after you. And then they'll be spreading it out and putting more little outposts all over your house or whatever. So it's like you want to keep that infestation consolidated in the mattress. So when you bag that thing up, you can contain as many of them as possible. So you actually have to just like sleep there knowing, oh yeah, I'm going to be getting eaten alive tonight. That's just what I got to do until we get the containment. Otherwise I'll be spreading this all along the hallway to the living room, and it is no fun.
I thought my insomnia was bad now.
Yeah.
Like, oh.
And God forbid if you have pets that sleep with you.
Oh yeah, no. That makes it worse.
Poor Ditko.
Yeah, Liz? Oh yeah, also like, and previously to that, we were trying to like save and like, oh, we really want to get a house someday. That'd be so great. And it's like, but dealing with the infestation, that actually ate a big chunk of that savings, unfortunately.
Oh, I didn't know that.
You gotta get a. Oh yeah, usually we don't run around on Twitter being like, I'm so sad, someone giving me more money, but yeah, stuff happens. You got to deal with it. Sometimes it's not cheap.
I wonder if anybody who's had bed bugs has ever considered being like a foster parent for a possum.
Oh, because they eat those things.
Because they eat parasites.
Yeah, they will eat the fuck out of
them. And parasites and stuff. Yeah,
they eat thousands of them, man. They will fuck that shit up.
They eat the shit out of them. So, like, I wonder if a possum might be like an alternative, and you could just take care of a possum for a week or two, and hear them scream in the sink, and then let them eat the bed bugs.
That'd be awesome if that worked.
Hear them what in the sink?
That'd be really cool, actually.
It's an idea.
That's not bad. Possums are cool too. So, we couldn't do that because Ditko would go insane. What the fuck is that thing?
And I did learn a little about like the theory behind what to do about it, so I can just share that briefly since we're on the topic. But if you get a bed bug infestation, try to catch it early. You contain them in the mattress with like a bag over it. You're not going to contain all of them because that's just not how it works. But basically, it's almost like playing a constant real-time strategy game. And the name of the game is to interrupt their life cycle. Because if they can get at you,
not fun at all.
Yeah, well, I mean, you can try to make it fun if you hype yourself up enough, I guess.
Yeah,
but you don't want to give them
background, sure.
Yeah, but you don't want to give them access to your blood because if they can feed on you, then they can start advancing to the next stages of the life cycle. Whereas if they can't feed on you, then you can starve them out, and after a year and a half, like after 18 months or something, you win because they can go for like 18 months without feeding.
Jesus.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
18 months these little things can go without eating anything?
They're really resilient. That's why they can live inside your like PlayStation and shit. It's crazy.
But if they can't feed on you, then it doesn't do them any good to be living in there. So what you do is you bag up your mattress, so then your mattress is basically secure. Then you got these things called climb up interceptors, and you put them on the feet of your bed frame so that when they go to climb your bed at night, because they still come from the walls, they come from the floor and the carpet and your PlayStation, whatever. When they come at night, then they actually get trapped in those climb up interceptors, and you can kind of see also based on which side of the bed they're getting trapped from. You can kind of predict where their nesting might be at. And you can lay down lines of diatomaceous earth, which is basically just earth, but when it gets on their body, it makes so they can't breathe, so it does kill them if they cross those barriers. And then beyond that, you just, all like cloth items that you own, like clothing, you don't store it in shelves and drawers, you got to store it in plastic bags. You got to basically have everything that could be used as a nest quarantined, washing stuff. Yeah, Liz? Yeah, also laundry might kill some if it's hot, but if it's not hot, if you just do like a cold run of laundry, they don't care. Detergent will roll off them like it's nothing.
Crazy.
But
yeah, they're so hard to kill.
Yeah, but
so you can't even drown them in the wash.
Yeah, it's not fair.
You can't even drown them in pesticide. They don't give a fuck.
They're an awful creature.
Do they react to salt the same way that like fleas and stuff react to salt, where it's like basically a fucking rocky mountainside to them, and they just cut themselves to pieces trying to get out?
I don't know, but I do know the diatomaceous earth. It's like super super fine powder. So when they try to cross those barriers, the fine powder actually gets.
Oh, you don't have to hydrate it.
Yeah, you don't have to hydrate at all. It just that powder gets in their breathing holes and clogs them up, and then they just suffocate and die.
Fuck them. Okay, actually, this leads into something I've wanted to ask you, Dave. This is hot.
Yeah, sure.
Hot quiz for Dave. Out of all the really funny things that have happened to you and your publishing company and your comic, which was the worst? Was it A, having your house burned down? Was it B? Bed bug infestation? Was it C, MS, or was it D, being blacklisted by everybody on Earth? Which of those four things? Which was the worst one? Doesn't really matter because all of them happened, but which was the worst?
I know people probably will think this is hyperbole, but honestly, the worst part, if you combine all elements of it, is definitely the blacklisting, like hands down.
Okay. I thought that might be your answer, and I think I know why, but please explain yourself. Our thoughts sometimes arrive in similar places, so.
I think there's two reasons for it. One is practical, and one is like almost, I guess, philosophical. The practical part is all these other problems are horrible, but they can be managed, and I can kind of do my best to deal with them. And then after I'm doing my best to deal with them, it's like, okay, moving on, focusing on other things. I've either fixed it or I've done everything that I can. You know, house burns down, that sucks, but you gotta try to find a new place as fast as you can so you're not putting the parents out too long. You got a new place, file insurance claims, get insurance money, then you get to like try to replace stuff. Fortunately, you had stuff backed up off site, so you don't totally, you know, it's a giant, horrible, stressful disruption to, you know, lose everything that you've ever owned. But you can bounce back from it. You just deal with it, and life goes on. No one got hurt. Well, I mean, I lost a pet that I loved very dearly, but no people got hurt. So
I thought you hated that lizard.
No, not the lizard. I'm talking about Cosmo, the little conure.
Oh, okay. I remember there was the lizard you didn't like. So
he killed. I think that thing committed suicide out of spite.
What was his name? Like Snap or something? You guys have told me you're like, it was an awful lizard. It was the worst lizard ever.
Yes, it was pretty much Satan incarnate. He was fun, but yeah, he was also the devil.
Anyway, sorry.
Yeah, but no. So you can bounce back from a fire. You just put your life back together and carry on. Probably the second worst one is getting. Well, actually, probably even worse than the fire, I think, is the multiple sclerosis diagnosis. It's scary. It's supposed to be, oh, there's no cure. It's going to degenerate. There's nothing you can do. But it's like, well, I don't know. There is some stuff you can do. Treatments are getting better. You know, apparently diet has a huge impact. And it's like, hey, I can kind of control what I eat to the degree that my budget allows it. So I will just take action on every front that I can take action on. And it's something that I can affect, and it's something that I can manage to the best it can be managed, and it's okay. It's not good news, but it's like, well, I can do what can be done. So that's something. And, you know, it seems to be, so I know it's very early in it right now, but it seems like it's already going a lot better than it could. So that's something. I forget, what's the other disaster? Fire, multiple sclerosis, bed bugs. Oh yeah. That was just a horrible nightmare. But again, same situation. If you understand like how their life cycle works and what you got to do, it's a massive disruption, but it's like, okay, well, it's time to fix the problem.
There are steps that work that you can take.
Yeah, there's stuff that you can do, and so it's a lot of work, it's a lot of stress, it's a lot of emotionally horrific stuff, but you just do it until it's fixed. And so again, it's a problem that you can solve. But the blacklisting stuff, there's nothing you can do. I mean, the people that you could try to explain to people, oh, let me explain to you that I'm not a Nazi, and that's ridiculous. They don't listen because they don't actually even think you're a Nazi. They just want to hurt you, and they know that that's a socially acceptable way to do it.
You'd have a better chance explaining that you're not a Nazi to the bed bugs, is what you're saying.
Plus, it affects
or the elemental force of fire.
Plus, it reaches in and affects the thing that's kind of the most important, which is, I want to make really cool work, and I want to share it with people that would enjoy it. And the blacklisting directly inhibits that. And it's not just like, oh, I like to do it. Oh, it's my career, blah, 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 blah. It's like, yeah, but I like to do it, and it's my career because I also think there's incredible importance and value in providing people with really good stories and really good entertainment. And so to have that just be sabotaged, it's like it hurts me, it hurts people that might have enjoyed these stories otherwise. And it's just really horrible to see, and this is where it gets into the philosophical component, I think. It's really horrible to see, because this was not present in any of the other disasters, and that's malice.
They were elemental or natural forces. There was no human choice behind any of them. They're bed bugs. It's fire. It's a disease.
Like even if you could argue, oh, the bed bugs, well, that might have been caused to a degree by neglect from the adjacent apartment, but it wasn't like they were doing that on purpose. It's not like they were trying to do it, and it's not like the damage and the stress and the despair was the intended effect. But for the blacklisting, that is the intended effect. Like the people doing that want that to happen, and they can make that happen very successfully, and there's essentially nothing you can do about it. So yeah, honestly, out of all those disasters, the blacklisting and stuff is the worst, and I don't think there's anything that can be done, and that's largely why we're just moving away, building our own community, even though they come after our own community when it has nothing to do with them. But,
yeah, not as effective.
Can't stop it.
Less and less effectively as time goes on, luckily.
Well, yeah, that's true. Although they were still just recently they were taking swings at Reagan again too.
Oh, who was taking swings at Reagan? What? I didn't hear about this.
The usual crowd going after his Twitter followers and stuff.
Oh, okay, whatever.
Being like, "Don't you know this?" Blah, blah, blah.
He was on a forum 5 years ago, and then he said he was sad
Are your
about
customers aware?
Are your customers? It's like, oh, are your customers aware you need to be executed at point blank range? Fuck off.
Yeah, so maybe other people would have different assessments, but for me, it's like, no, actually, the blacklisting is the worst thing that's ever happened to our business, definitely. And on a personal level, I think it's also been like the most nasty and stressful thing to kind of come to terms with and just realize, well, these malicious people, they can do it. There's not really anything that stops them. People fall in line. And that's why I say in its totality, because it also involves aligning with, the biases, I guess you could say, of the moderation teams at like Twitter and these other platforms where they give these people cover and, a safe harbor to do this kind of abuse. So no, it's definitely the blacklisting.
And I actually came up with this one because you got MS, and I was like, man, how much more bad? Like, his house burned down, he had bed bugs. I was like, let's make a 4-option quiz because I always think about this stuff throughout the week. Like, what can we talk about on the stream?
Yeah.
What if I gave Dave a 4-option quiz with all these horrible things? What are the 4? Oh, there we go. Oh, thanks. That earned me a subscriber. I was talking about your horrible life. Just got the
there you go.
Oh, Dave's life sucks.
Now you know what to talk about during the week when he streams.
Exactly. Dave's life is horrible.
It's actually pretty good. It's just we've hit some road bumps.
There
we
were
drive
like
over them, so
it was just these
good.
ones. They're like, especially like the bed bugs, the fire, that kind of stuff. Like, those are big life disruptions. They're life defining moments. And I just thought he's had a lot of these, and he's been trucking on. But what I got the idea because it was something we were both talking about, the blacklisting, and I deal for whatever like, you get banned from the cons, but I get banned way more online.
Yes.
For whatever reason, even though like people very rarely try to start direct fights with me anymore because they're stupid and weak, and I'm super smart and cool. Not really.
That's true.
I think it's mostly just that they know they don't actually have a foot to stand on, so they're not going to start a reasoned discussion with me, which is too bad. But I thought of this because me and you, Dave and I, often talk about this kind of stuff during the off week. We talk about the same things. The snake pit never really ends. But he said, he's like, if you could do like a math equation to figure out like how much time and money of yours has been lost to this, and it's like, that's time of your life that you've had to spend like, these people took away hours, days, months, years potentially of your life doing this shit, like, that you've had to counteract. Like, what is the sum total damages? And that was, one, a very good question, and two, a very depressing question to think about. But it was interesting, and it's why I ultimately came up with my hot quiz. But
yeah,
I don't know if anybody else has thought about it that way, but it's like, yeah, they're actively like chipping away at your life, and that's sobering.
Yeah, well, I mean, it is like kind of what Hazen said before, where it's like they just want to tear something down. It's more about almost like producers versus non-producers sometimes. So yeah, then I think that's a part of why they go after people that are doing creative things and are like trying to bring cool new projects to people. Because under the surface, I know it's like, oh, you're just upset at your trolls. You just say that they're jealous when you can't handle the criticism. But it's like, well, I mean, honestly,
really
there is a lot of jealousy, I think, under the surface in a lot of these attempts. I used to not think jealousy was a thing. When I was a little kid, when I was growing up, I'd always see it like in cartoons, and I'd be like, that seems like such an unrealistic motive for the villain. It's just cartoony and over the top.
There's people that
like,
really feel that a lot
don't,
stronger than you or I.
Yeah, like I didn't believe in it when I was a kid, but as we've been progressing with our work and as we've been, I guess, getting more successful with it, which is nice. I've seen a lot of that happen, and it's definitely a real thing, and it's a very, very strong compulsion in some people.
And it's a sad one because it's such an unnecessary compulsion.
Well, the thing that makes me sad
miserable
yes,
for your whole life, no matter what you achieve, if you are filled with envy, it's why it's one of the 7 deadly sins. If you're filled with envy, like, you will never be happy. You will never feel like you lived like a fulfilled life.
How do you get
people just sometimes never come over that? Yeah.
I guess
how do you get over it?
I guess that's the thing, though, is for people like Dave and I, it's easy because we're not particularly envious people. I don't know you as well, Haas, and presumably you're not either. But it's like, how do you, if that is such a strong thing in someone's mind and heart, like, how do you overcome that? How do you become, I don't know.
You have to manually start pulling plugs.
I guess
so. Be like, I'm not going to do this. Like, you have to catch yourself. It's like what I tell these idiots online who will sit on fucking Twitter for like 2 hours. These idiots, they'll sit on Twitter for 2 hours arguing with somebody on Twitter about something, like trying to post links. Well, actually, here's a link to the thing, and it's true. And it's like, what you're saying might be true. The other person doesn't care. They just want to waste your time because they don't have anything else to do, and obviously you don't either. So, like, when you catch yourself about to start arguing with some, like, bozo on Twitter.
Someone who is engaged in bad faith, clearly, yeah.
Go, oh, damn, I'm about to start doing this shit again. And every time I do this, I waste a whole bunch of time and nothing ever gets solved. So you know what? I'm just going to mute this conversation on Twitter. There's so many things I will post just to fucking poke, like, celebrities like Ken Penders and Steve Bloom and shit, and then I will just mute the conversation, and then I'll see like 3 fucking replies that they posted to that or something later if I look at it again, and I'll just be
Thank you, Karen, for being a follower. Go on. Sorry.
Nice.
You're fine. I just kind of laughed to myself. I never read them. I just laugh to myself, and I just go about my day. That's the way to handle that. You have to manually start pulling plugs and saying, I'm not going to engage in this kind of behavior because it's destructive to me. It's destructive to other people.
You gotta up your filters. Hey, you guys keep talking. I gotta use the restroom.
Yeah, go ahead. And I was gonna say too, I do think, I don't want to say like, oh, other people are jealous, whereas I'm never jealous, because I think it's a trap that everyone has the potential of falling into, and that's why it's good to be aware of it, and don't think, even if you can recognize it in other people, it's like, don't think that you're some magical creature that's immune. Because I think me and Bone and everyone, I think, has had the feeling where you're doing your best, you're trying to make some really cool stuff, and then you look over and there's another artist account and they have like just massively more metrics and followers and crowdfunding. And there's always going to be someone you can look up next to where they're just like blowing past you and outperforming you, and like that's okay. But the instinct is to be like, well, how come it's working like that for them and it's not working like that for me? And if you have that mindset, and especially if you just indulge in it, it takes you really unpleasant places, and it's just not a good way to think. So I think the best thing for me is to realize, hey, the thing that I focus on is, well, can I draw whatever I want? Can I make what I really think that I like? And are they making what they like? Do I wish that I was making what they're making? It's like, no, not really. They're making something cool, but it's like, I want to make what I'm making. And if I have that freedom to make whatever I want to make, and there are some people out there that really like it, then that's great. And why am I like looking at some numbers on Twitter that probably don't even matter? Or even if they do matter, it's like
to some people.
Yeah, let's say they even do matter. Even so, let's say they matter. It's like, oh, well, you know what? Then good for them. Good for the people that enjoy their stuff. And I still have total freedom to make what I love to make. So I think the key for me to avoiding falling into that mindset is just focus on what I love to do and do more of that. And obviously there's a time to turn on a more analytical mindset when it's time to like go from being a creator and into being like a marketer. And at that point, then you dig into analytics, blah, 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 blah. But in terms of like the emotional landscape I want to live in, I don't want to be living in a world where like numbers on the internet define how good I feel, because that's just not a good place to be.
Yeah. And I will say that I have seen even recently weird envy things, especially when combined with stress, create this cocktail that will make some of the best, most trustworthy, most level-headed people into complete monsters. like right away. And it's a really, and how you handle that, if you run into somebody who's coming at you with this shit, is you just fucking try to stay calm, right? You're just like, dude, like I don't know where you're coming from with this, but I'm not trying to fucking like create a problem here. Can we talk about this later? And then usually like 9 times out of 10, that person will kind of calm down and they'll be like, I don't know what came over me. It's within everybody to become like that. But like, see, like I'm fucking nobody, dude. Okay. I make stupid little anime reviews on the internet and I do a bunch of contract work. Like there's not like a product I have out that's like a great story or anything right now. But there are people who I see, you know, talking in their little Discord servers about me. And they'll come up like it used to be every time I'd premiere a video on YouTube, there'd be this one guy who would come in under like 7 alt accounts he made on YouTube. And he'd be like, hey, just wanted to let you know you're a big failure and nobody likes your videos. Haha. Okay. And like some of those videos would get up to like 11, 12,000 views. And
hey, nice.
I only have like 1,000 subscribers. And it's just like what possesses a person to go through it's not easy to make a YouTube account, right? Like you got to put some effort into making like 7 alts to do this every single time. And you just have to really look at that and go, that person wishes they had this measly little 1,000 subscriber account and they just can't take the fact that like they don't have this little thing that I have. And it's like, well, if you put like some effort into making your own thing instead of trying to tear everybody else's down, maybe you don't like the person. Maybe you have a good reason not to like the person, but tearing their shit down is not opening up anything for you. First of all, you're never going to do that. You're never going to tear something down. Like they call it Kevin Spacey, like molesting kids on set and shit. And he was just like, oh, well, yeah, I don't know about that, but I'm gay. Like you're never going to tear people, what they've made down. That's never, ever going to happen. Once you build a fan base, like look at Spoonie. You know what I'm talking about? Spoonie, Noah Antweiler?
Yeah.
He had to work for years to destroy his own fan base. He still has people just clinging on to him. Spoonie, please just stream, just make a video, something. We love you. Like when you build a fan base, you have to really work at it to destroy that shit yourself. Nobody's going to take that shit away from you if you play your cards right. And it's very easy to play your cards right. You can even play cards wrong sometimes and still get it right. But to try and like tear somebody's shit down, first of all, it's not going to work. You're never going to do it. Second of all, you're not opening up a market that you can usurp by doing that. Because a lot of these people who come down to tear stuff down that other people have, they're not selling anything. They don't have anything to fucking offer these people, you know, who are now deprived of their thing in their weird, like, hypothetical world. Yeah. It's just stupid. It's caveman shit. Like, well, stop doing it. Get a job. Go fucking draw. Go do something with your life other than trying to destroy shit people have built.
And that's actually when Bone said, "Oh, it's sad." I agree with it, but I agree with it specifically because of that. Because if someone is jealous, what that means is there's some little voice inside of them that they're listening to, and that little voice is saying, "You could never get to that level. Like you're never going to be that good. You just can't do it. This person, they're better than you, and so you should feel bad because you're not good enough to be that." And it's like,
you know what? You might not be, but do something.
Well, I mean, you might not be that good at that specific thing exactly, but everyone's going to be able to find like something that they can make work for them. And it's going to be different for everyone. Some people, it's going to be a creative thing. Some people, it's going to be like, maybe they actually get a job, but it's like they're really good at that job and it enriches their, like, who knows? But the thing is, like, I don't think people should just listen to that voice of like, oh, they have it good and you don't, so just get mad. That's not you, and it's never going to be. Because it's like when they give into that jealousy, it's like a part of them is giving up on themselves, and that's where I think it actually is legitimately sad. Because like, no, you could be something great, you could do something great, but you gotta keep your focus where it needs to be. Stop looking at, you know, the other person that's also doing well, and look at how you can do well.
Yeah, I completely agree with that, and I don't know. I'm a little bit more pessimistic than most people case you haven't
I'm
noticed
back.
that.
I'm back.
Yeah.
Bone's back.
What did
I'm a
I
little more pessimistic
miss?
than most people. We're just talking about the envy thing still.
We're talking about how we're jealous of you and how you're cool and your hair is nice and you're stylish, unlike us.
Yeah, but I'm also I got nice hair, but Dave's in better shape than me, so what can you do? Put us both together, you'll have one Superman and one very, very sad person. But take all of our best and all of our worst. What's up?
What I was gonna say is like I just don't like. There's some people, man. I hate to say it, but they're like there's some people who want to be creative. I know a guy who fucking got mad at me because I stopped editing videos for him, but there are people who want to be creative, desperately want to do something creative. And a lot of the times when they're not actually creative, the motivation more lies in like just getting fame and money. And it never works when they do shit like that. But they like those people, if you're one of those people, just get a job. Just get a job, find some skill that you can do. You kind of enjoy working with, like electricity or networking or something.
Oh, electrical contractors, they can make some serious money.
I had, before I had to do art full time out of necessity, I had jobs that I still did art, because I was trying to make it as an artist, but I had jobs that I liked, that I enjoyed going to and found fulfillment with, like that weren't just like, oh, I drew furry comics. It was like, no, I did just normal stuff that I enjoyed. It's out there. It's not just creative work. For some reason, people think that's the only fulfilling career option. It's not. I used to raise kangaroos. It was awesome. I loved it.
Plus, honestly, creative stuff can be such a massive amount of work to do, especially if you're doing it independently, that if you don't I almost want to tell people, if you can just have a job and do that job, if you're not insanely driven to make stuff like this, then you don't have the same sickness as we do, and that gives you an advantage. You can make money the easy way. Just do that. Why would you want to do this stuff? It's so much work. It's so much work. Just do something that's
so much work, and it is a cursed life of constant gambling.
It is a crazy way to live. It's really, really weird.
I always tell like young people I know who fucking talk about this shit, like my nephew and shit. He's like, yeah, I would love to fucking do like a YouTube channel. It's like, okay, do it while you're young, while you have time to do this shit, and just like fuck with it. And if you like it and it goes somewhere, stick with it. If in a year you have nothing, just abandon it. Don't fuck with it. Just fucking do something else.
You're right about like gambling. Like just to share even like news from today where there are things with a creative career that you wouldn't necessarily expect to have to deal with, but you're going to have to deal with it. One of the things is it's like, hey, our campaign for Volume 5 did very well, and now we're making Volume 5, and it's going to be awesome. But it did so well that it's also knocking us out of our current insurance arrangement. So next year, it's like, oh, well,
I should laugh, but of course, something had to happen where it's like, oh, you thought you were doing good?
Yeah.
Fuck you.
Well, plus try explaining to any kind of a government service employee where it's like, no, you don't understand. I'm not rich. It's just every 3 or 4 years when a book comes out, that year it looks like I am, but all of that money is actually going to go into printing next year. So it's not like I'm going to have it. Their eyes are just going to glaze over and they're going to be like, you have $100,000. You're not eligible for Medicaid anymore. And it's like, oh, okay. I guess that's like, sure.
No, doesn't Vivid Publishing have that? Not you?
He is Vivid Publishing.
That's the issue.
No. Vivid Publishing should be a corporation. It should be a sheet of paper in a fucking drawer somewhere. Not you.
It's incorporated as an LLC, but we're taxed as a single pass-through entity currently.
Oh my God. Okay, well you need to restructure. You need to not fucking have that.
I don't know how to. I need someone who actually knows.
You need to go for a C corp, dude. Get a C corp or something that does not have pass-through bullshit. That shit is awful. There's no fucking point.
See, hold on. Right here, this conversation, people who are listening and being like, what the fuck are they talking about? This is being an artist. This is what you got to deal with. Shit that doesn't make sense at all.
Yeah, well, because the thing is, initially, like years ago, I thought, oh, I'll just go with a pass-through because otherwise it's like when you get your revenue, they tax the income for the corporation, so it's like all that gets taxed anyways. And then when you pay yourself, suddenly you're getting taxed again on your personal income, so you get double taxation on the same income if you're an S corp.
That's how a lot of people think too. But there's advantages to paying yourself a salary. You can get taxed again, sure. What the fuck ever. Pay yourself a salary of fucking $2,000 a month, and that's what you get taxed on. And now all your corporate money stays in the corporation, and you don't get knocked out of your fucking insurance arrangement and dumb shit like that.
Yeah.
This is why it's like if you want to run your own business, you need to hire someone else to like figure this shit out for you, because no one teaches you any of this, and trying to learn it on your own.
No one.
Well, if you try and learn it on your own, it's very confusing. I remember when I first tried to I was like, I can do taxes on my own for my company. I'm good at math. I got a few pages in. I was cross-referencing so many things. I was like, this is impossible. And I got fucking, TurboTax and was like, well, cool. Don't I feel smart?
Yeah, it's always hire a tax accountant, like, to do your fucking tax. It's got to be more expensive if you have, like, a corporation of any kind, but... Like, yeah, hire a tax accountant, and do not be lured by the siren's call of pass-through fucking income corporation structure.
Well, but if you're a small-time artist, like maybe you're me or something, that makes sense, and even Dave at a time, but I think Vivid as an entity has grown to the point where it's like, oh, it needs to... Vivid itself needs a classification upgrade, it sounds like. Which I'm glad... Dave, I'm glad you brought this up on stream. I wouldn't have known to do this. It sounds like you didn't know to do it either, but thank God Hazen did. This could save all of us some money.
I should have actually... I think I was telling you before we did this campaign.
You were telling me about
you were
this
LLC. Before. And I was like, dude, look how much you made on your last fucking campaign. You need to start looking at like a C Corp or an S Corp. And you were like, yeah, I will. And then we just didn't have time to fuck with it, really.
Well, I wonder if that's what...
Yeah, I mean, I was just pushed to the max with marketing the campaign and then getting CouchCon ready and then getting multiple sclerosis. But just to tell people the importance...
Were you busy? Were you busy, Dave?
Were you a little busy, buddy?
Just to tell people the importance of... fabricating more time from the universe to do everything instead of like leaving one thing out. So what I'm going to be experiencing over the next year is a healthcare plan where we're going from being on Medicaid, which pretty much covered what we needed without too much issue. The new ones, I thought that like Obamacare was like, oh yeah, we're fixing this to make healthcare affordable for everyone. Fucking no, they did not. No. Jesus Christ. The plans I'm looking at have deductibles that are over $13,000 a year.
That changed after Trump, because I could afford those plans, and then Trump Care took over, and then I couldn't. And I know that happened with some other people too. I'm not trying to make it a political thing. I just know that changed within the past 4 years. But then luckily, I got my husband's insurance, so fuck everything. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, it does provide advantages to people who have like almost no money. If you're totally broke, you can't get coverage from.
If you're just like in the kind
like,
of poor range like us, it's like, ooh, not a good place to be.
It also depends on like what state you're in and what's offered there and shit like that. Like it's not like socialized medicine. It's like a step in that direction. It's like private companies offer you insurance plans, and the government decides what you can use out of your own tax dollars to pay for those plans.
Yeah.
And sometimes if you make a lot of money, they're not real great. Yeah, but you can still get health insurance, and you should, but you may not be able to get Medicaid. Like, I would also say call these people.
Oh yeah,
call the fucking healthcare.gov people. Do not try to do that shit online yourself.
Always, if you can call, do it. Like they'll just open up options for you. Like I had to get like a colonoscopy at some point because they were like, well, your Lyme disease might be in your colon. And I was like, no, it's not. And like, well, you need a colonoscopy. I'm like, okay, whatever. And then they put me in a hospital that's outside my network without telling me. So it was like, oh, and that'll be $5,000. I'm like, bitch, I don't have $5,000. And I was scared to death. And then I just called the hospital. They're like, oh, you don't have that? Okay. It was fucking fine. It just went away. I was like, oh. Well, all right. That's neat.
Yeah, it sounds like they were trying to make some money. Yeah.
I mean, I was pissed. I was pissed at first, but it went away. So
Yeah, to cap off my story, that's my little revelation for today, as I am simultaneously learning that my new medication that I have to be on to avoid dying will be costing me potentially $7,000 a month.
Holy shit! That's got to be all. Is that all towards insurance though? Because they upcharge that stuff.
Depending on the insurance plan, it might cover some of it. That is until we, not until we get to the deductible, of course. So that's kind of like a guaranteed $13K gut punch for the next year.
Oh boy! All right, what's it made of? We'll figure out how to make it. You figure out how to make deodorant. We can do this
patented,
too.
Or is it like a medication that's still patented?
They do have a generic version of it now that is a lot cheaper, but it's still, I think, between $1,000 and $2,000 a month. But it's not so much more
than $7.
Yeah, it is better than $7. But we're still gonna hit that deductible, and it's like I have to pay the insurance every month, and they're gonna make me pay this whole deductible.
Yeah, I really recommend like Monday, whatever you're doing Monday, cancel it and make an appointment with some tax guy, and ask him like, what can I do to not have this problem? And I guarantee you there's somebody out there that will, like, don't go to TurboTax at HR Block. They don't fucking know.
Dude, no,
like,
TurboTax,
go to some private
the
tax
CPAs,
firm.
I can attest, I tried one of the TurboTax CPAs, the TurboTax CPAs, because they were like, hey, do a CPA free trial. Those people are retarded.
Yeah.
Like, they're no good. Don't try
They're like
them.
people that, it's like something with those companies, like they have this system sometimes where they have people, like they'll pay for you to go to school to learn accounting, and then you have to work for them for like a year. So like that's what you're getting is somebody who's fresh out of school. No,
I was assured that Linda had been working for TurboTax for 10 years.
Well, she may have, and I feel for her, but usually after 10 years, people get their own office or practice or something.
Not
but
Linda.
Either way, find a private practice if you can. I'm gonna say this: if you can, find an Indian guy or a Jewish guy who does taxes. And like, I don't know what it is about the neurology there, but they are really fucking good at like finding ways to get you to not get like porked by fucking Uncle Sam. So
Reagan said it's all about the Armenians. He said those Armenian guys, they know what's up.
Oh, the Armenians probably are great. I've never been to one, but I could see that. Yeah, absolutely. But
that's what he was saying when we had him on. He said he has an Armenian CPA, and that motherfucker saves him money.
Yeah, go and talk to them and be like, I just made this money in a campaign for my company. My company has its own filing, but it's passed through. Is there any way possible I can like do something, switch my corporate structure? Like, what can I do
refile.
to not have? Yeah, like, is there anything I can do? I guarantee you, a CPA will find you a way to not have to pay like thousands of fucking dollars out of your pocket for this medication.
Kids, this is why the books come out a little slow sometimes. Because
you think it's like, oh, they're just drawing whimsical drawings all the time. It's like, no, we're trying to figure out how the fuck to schedule our corporations so we can afford Dave's MS medication. What a whimsical story Dreamkeepers is.
There's some stuff behind the scenes that takes a little bit of attention away from the fun adventures in Artland at times, and so you're hearing the tip of the iceberg today on Snake Pit. Whoa.
No, I've got it right here. I've got my old Lyme disease folder. I've never shown this on stream, actually. This was just from our first year of doctor's visits. I've kept it as a visual aid.
I gotta see this. I'm tuning in now.
Here, hold on. I'll put this painting of this cute boy aside. But it's lime green, because of course it is. It'll show up. Oh, it's backwards. But yeah, this was us just trying to organize stuff for me. Doing here's a page of notes I took on phone numbers I had to call one day. This was one day of phone numbers, and then just tons and tons of medical receipts and documents, receipts, history. What is this? I don't even remember what that one is. I can't even read it. But borreliosis information packet. Oh, here's all my different labs.
Ooh, labs.
Scripts. Oh yeah, here's a bunch of addresses for places you can go for. This was just, here's a bunch of my different meds I've taken. This is my history of medication I've taken. because I took so many. But we just kept everything in this one big giant folder for a few years because it just got so huge and out of control, just trying to figure out what the fuck was wrong with me, and then trying to keep it all within the bureaucracy of the medical system. They were like, we need a filing system for this. And this is what me and my mom came up with. And I inherited this, and I just keep it to remind me, like, oh yeah, it's annoying and awful.
It's a pretty good filing system, honestly.
Yeah, but I just have that in the studio to remind me. It's like, hey, remember, it was worse. It was worse. I keep that right by Ditko's vet. My dog's vet care information, which is a much simpler filing system. Oh God, but yeah, Dave. I also like Dave. Yeah, if you're getting into this medical stuff, that's a system you could consider.
Folder, so I might upgrade to a binder at some point, and it's of course stuffed with like info from 9 different hospital chains.
Yeah, no, it's all the different chains, the different meds, the different outpatient stuff, your different labs. Like, it just gets so huge, and then you'll be at an appointment. They'll be like, oh, do you have a blah 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 piece of paper? And you're like, oh shit, that was one piece of paper among 7,000. Oh, that I don't have that with me today. It's like, no, you keep it all in one folder. It's gonna be there. It's gonna be there, and you're gonna want it. So
yeah, I'll probably upgrade to a binder in that case.
It's worth it. Keep that shit organized. It will save your life. And, other times they're gonna try to be fixing you with tuning forks and shit, but whatever. Speaking of medical stuff, you had a new article come out on Anthrobrand today, which I did read. I read it because I was like, he might want to talk about this on the Snake Pit tonight, so I will read this.
Because I owed her, I was like, I'll do an article for you in October, definitely. And then in October,
something happened.
We get the idea. So, but yeah, I finally got that article done. I was like, well, now I have some new subject matter that I can explore. So maybe people are curious about that. And so I kind of tried to take the horrible experiences and jujitsu that into some useful information for people, hopefully.
Yeah, I enjoyed reading it because to me it was like a throwback. It was like, oh, I remember reading stuff like this when I first got sick, and like, because that's a similar. Not everybody goes through that mindset that you have, especially not as quickly as you're on the accelerated plan of figuring out how to deal with illness. Some people take a lot longer. But I remember reading stuff
kind of ahead of me, so.
Well, but it took me longer overall though, because I had less of a support structure than you. I was just when I got sick, it was like me and my mom. I was in the process of like partially due to the sickness, like losing all my friends and stuff. Like you know the whole story and how fucked up it got.
Yeah.
It's gross and awful, and I may be eventually able to sue somebody, so I won't mention any names. But, just got to keep it on the up and up. But, like, Dave has he has a bunch of people who really care about him, not just fans, obviously, but also his wonderful wife and his nearby and far-flung friends as well. But I did not have such a support structure. It was me and my mom in Deep South Alabama. Not known for its great healthcare system. It was not easy.
And that's why I tell people, like, the whole thoughts and prayers thing, it really does help to have a bunch of people giving you good vibes from different sources. Because
it can't hurt. It doesn't hurt.
Yeah, because you didn't really have that. And yeah, I would believe it was definitely way rougher for you.
I had a few people. I had some people who cared, in some odd places too. But it was mostly most of my friends and whatnot. I lost at that time, which sucked. But that was God, what 6 years, almost 7 years ago now. So, but obviously in a very very different place now. Barely even knew AJ at the time. He was only someone I drew a badge for at that time. How things have changed.
You heard it here, folks. If you want to marry Bone, get him to draw you a badge.
It's true.
There you go.
No, AJ was a client before he was even like a friend, much less my fucking husband. But people hear that, they're like, so I could potentially marry that artist I like. And the answer is, yes, you could. Commission that. He didn't even commission me like a lot. He got a badge, and he got an inked drawing from me. Yeah, which I have that inked drawing in our house now, framed. But he didn't. Cool. He wasn't like my biggest commissioner. That wasn't like the reason I fell for him. God no. But it was.
Yeah, be careful doing that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I fell for him for hopefully much better reasons. But it was, it is fun. But it is, that was our first point of contact, was at a convention with him as a client and me as the artist. So, things happen. You never know.
Well, that is actually a through line that I like, is despite all of the fun times that we've experienced collectively, it seems like they do work out in a good way if you just don't give up, keep on keeping on.
And that sounds like super lame and like overly positive, but like if you really do keep a realistically positive mindset, I would say, because looking at your article, which is about like the power of negative thinking, which I liked that title. I liked what you were going for with it. But there are a lot of bad things that can happen, and a lot of them will, and then some bad things you weren't expecting will also happen, and they're crazy and awful, and you'll hate them, and they'll be frustrating, and no one will believe you, and you'll want to scream. But there's a lot of good things too, and you can find some really bizarre good things in odd places as well. So
I think that's the first case I've ever heard of somebody marrying a fan. That I know. Didn't work out with them getting poisoned or beaten or something.
Yeah, no, AJ's very normal.
Or getting bought angel wings or some crazy shit.
Wait, angel wings? What?
Yeah, there was some text leaked about somebody. They're buying some girl angel wings.
Wait, like.
No, don't ask me.
Oh, I was like, is that a drug euphemism? Like, that sounds like.
No, it was. She was like some kind of model. She had been on stage with wings on or something.
All right, whatever.
Yeah.
No,
he's gonna buy her some new wings, Angel.
No, I haven't found. I was looking for like old emails or something, and I found like AJ's first email to me, which was just like about details for a badge I did for him, and that was the first thing I drew from him. I'm like, honey, look, it was the first email we sent each other. And it was just like obviously wasn't particularly sexually charged at the time, but if only we'd known what was coming.
The first thing I ever said to my wife was I lied to her about having seen and loved Jurassic Park.
You'd never seen Jurassic Park?
I had never seen it up to that point, because when I was a kid, it was this is the devil. There's dinosaurs eating people. That's bad.
Oh.
And yeah, she had like, I knew she was in the Jurassic Park, and she was like, yeah, if somebody wanted to talk to me, I guess they could just mention something about Jurassic Park. And I was like, dude, I fucking love Jurassic Park, man. It's just balling. Well, really, which one's your favorite, man? The first one's always the best. You can't beat Jeff Goldblum. I had never seen these fucking movies.
You knew what to say.
She was like, I got a date like a week after that, and we've had a lot of fun. And like a year into the relationship, I noticed she had like a VHS of the first movie on her shelf, and I was like, oh yeah, I should probably tell you that I lied about seeing
By the way,
Jurassic Park is, and she got really mad. She was like, You've never seen it? And she got mad for like a second, and then she was just like, okay, well, now we have to watch.
Yeah, then you just got an excuse to watch a good movie.
If that's the worst thing I'm going to suffer for this lie, yeah, fine, I'll watch them. And they were good. I watched them, and I liked the first movie a lot. The third movie, I think, was the one where Dr. Grant came back, and that one was pretty cool. The second one was kind of okay. I didn't really like the Jurassic World shit. It has like no.
Yeah, those are dumb.
No soul.
If anything, with the second movie's like all right, but the book's really good. So.
She read all the books. I haven't read the books.
There's only two. There's only two, or at least official. Yeah. Well, I think they released some like posthumous like ghostwriter shit, but there's two Michael Crichton written Jurassic Park novels, and they're both very good.
if you like Michael Crichton in Jurassic Park. Otherwise, you'll hate them.
Otherwise, yeah, probably would not like those things. I like.
If you like Jurassic Park,
I like Michael Crichton.
Michael Crichton.
I love Michael Crichton. He's great. Rest in peace.
And he's still writing amazingly after his death. It's impressive to me. I'll be right back.
That's really cool. Yeah, how's he doing that?
You want to see a guy who's managed to
like
write
a
a lot?
Tupac thing going on.
Guy who's written a lot since he's died. Tom Clancy. That fucker can write beyond the grave. Goddamn. I
hope after I'm dead, I'm still doing stupid commercials. Maybe they can deep fake me into them.
Tom Clancy's like, he's still making video games and he's dead, and he never even made video games.
Yeah. How is that motherfucker still making video games?
It's crazy, right? I don't know how he does it. David apparently had to go.
Those games even like they even like register in Steam under Tom Clancy. So if back when I played Rainbow Six Siege, I couldn't start typing R to get to Rainbow Six Siege. I had to start typing T
Clancy.
to get to Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six Siege.
And he's been dead for over a decade. And you still have to type that. Like most people playing, like I bet the majority of people playing those games are probably like, who the fuck is Tom Clancy? They probably think he's like the guy that. Yeah. They probably think he's the guy that directs the game. Like, yeah, he directed those, right? Like, no, he's like a dead author.
I don't think they even give it a fucking a thought like at all. Like a lot of people I ran into playing fucking Rainbow Six Siege were like 13-year-old chulos that were just like, yeah, man, I got money, man. Don't worry about it. I bought the season pass, man. I got all the characters.
Yeah, you think a lot of those kids know who the author Tom Clancy is?
No, absolutely not.
Also, have you ever seen? Have you seen how big the original Rainbow Six novel is? It's fucking huge.
I've seen like a hardcover.
It's a big book.
I thought forever I had read a Tom Clancy novel when I read Pelican Brief, but it turns out that was actually John Grisham. So I've never read a Tom Clancy novel.
Oh,
actually, that Rainbow Six book was really interesting because it had a theme that would probably not fly today.
Islamic terrorism.
No, it was
that was in a lot of Tom Clancy books.
It was a book about these crazy environmentalists that were capturing homeless people and then experimenting on them with a virus, and then their plan was to release this virus and kill all of humanity. And so then at the very end, like the Rainbow Six team finally figures out who's behind all of this, and they capture these environmentalists. And I think at the end they force them to strip naked, and then they're like, "Oh, are you going to kill us? You're going to kill us?" It's like, no, you guys can live, but you're not allowed to come back with us on the helicopter. You're in the jungle now, so this is your paradise. Bye.
Oh, all right. So you've read the original Rainbow Six novel?
Yeah, I think I read it in high school or something. It was pretty cool. Lots of action.
I read the first few chapters because a friend of mine had it, and then I was like, "This is boring," and I went back to my.
I think things like that end up being a lot better as like movies or games, but I don't think there's ever been a Rainbow Six movie.
No, there's not.
That's a good. Because Hollywood did not like the script.
Closest we've had would be like The Sum of All Fears or something, which is based on a Tom Clancy novel. So, I mean, we've got the Jack Ryan Amazon TV series, which Jack Ryan is like the Tom Clancy character. So,
yeah, actually, I can't get Jim from The Office out of my head when I see this shit. Though.
It's weird to look at. Yeah, you're like, that's Jim from The Office. He's not an action hero, but he's like murdered.
You're not an action hero. You're Jim.
But he's got an MP5 Navy, and he's like headshotting dudes. You're like, this is bizarre. Where's Pam? Like,
what's Steven think about this?
Yeah.
What's Steve Carell think? The character Steve Carell.
Dwight's gonna fucking freak on Monday.
Man, I wish it was old internet, because in old internet you could have done like a mashup show of Office and the Jack Ryan stuff and just mixed it up and put it on YouTube. And
just
it would have
cut in Jim's talking head segments into the Jack Ryan.
That'd be so good. Yes. So I played this prank on Dwight, and it just cuts to him like shooting a machine gun. It's like went over great. Like.
And so he's gone.
So no more Dwight.
Like, yeah,
I would love to. I would love to see the one where he's like, they're asking him like, "Who are you faxing at 6 a.m.?" and he's just like, "It's hard to explain." And then like it just shows him faxing something, and like a fucking bomb just starts ticking, and fucking just like blows the fucking smithereens out of some building or something. And Jack Ryan.
And then you just get Jim.
Somehow he detonated it with a fax.
Cut to Jim face like.
I would watch that.
Yeah.
Man, I'd watch a whole season of that. That sounds amazing.
That's a good show right there.
And again, we would have had that already on YouTube by now if it was like original YouTube.
Copyright would totally fuck that up. Yeah, copyright would fuck that over now.
Now evil corporations rule the internet.
Yeah, you could probably upload something like that on BitChute and get away with it.
Is BitChute still viable? I thought
they went down or something.
They came back to life, but I think they're clinging to dear life. And they really should have done that site different. They should have federated like the actual like operation of it. And they wouldn't have to be paying a whole lot. But who knows how well it would have worked with that too, I guess. Dave, I don't know.
Dave, I want to say, like, this page you're working on, I really like this big single-panel setup with the characters moving through the environment, but I have two things you could do for improvement. All right. So
one, add Jack Ryan.
Well, yeah, three things then. One, put Jim from The Office in there, killing everybody. Two, have you considered putting, like, a big black dotted line between the characters? And three, have you considered like a big circular format for the comic? Like this could be like do you know the artist Bill Keane?
I want to say I've heard of Glenn Keane. I don't think Bill Keane I'm familiar with.
It's a joke. That's the guy who does Family Circus. I was making a joke about like, oh, it's like the Family Circus things. Like, how do we make this bad like those? We put it in a big circle and the dotted line.
I was looking forward to like, oh, Bones so knowledgeable about comics. Time for knowledge. And then he's like, I think I'm just going to deprive you of that knowledge.
Well, no, I gave you knowledge of bad Family Circus comics because it's the worst comic ever. You know what Family
That's true. I can that.
Bill Keane. They ran those things for like years after he was dead because he'd made so many.
That's what I hope to achieve. So many Dreamkeepers comics that they'll just be coming out forever.
I hope I'm just quote from David Lilly. I hope I'm just like the Family Circus guy. Have you read? Does anybody know what I'm talking about with Family Circus? Like the worst comic?
Yes.
Okay,
no, the Sunday paper thing.
Yeah, like.
No, everyone I've ever read, it's always been like, I wonder what the joke was supposed to be on this Family Circus.
The joke is it's appropriate for grandma. Like.
I don't think so because it's confusing. Like grandma needs because it's going to make grandma wonder if she's losing it or if it's just the comic. So I don't think it is.
No, because I had teachers in middle school who were all grandmas, and they would cut out Family Circus comics and put them on their bulletin boards in their classrooms because they liked them so much. This really happened. They would do this, and I, as a middle schooler, knew that they had poor taste. I was like, at least put up like a Far Side comic, like Gary Larson. Come on, please.
Have you seen that Twitter called Cursed Boomer Images?
Yeah. My brother will send me those sometimes.
Love that Twitter so fucking much. That and cropped boomer images are my
no,
favorite
that's the one my
Twitters
brother
right
likes.
now.
That's the one my brother sends me is cropped boomer images. That's the one he likes.
They sometimes have like little weird like Sunday paper cartoons shit about that. They're like, oh, kids on their phones, am I right? Oh.
Yeah, like they're so bad.
Kids on their phone. Hold on, let me go turn my fucking TV on to CNN for the rest of my life.
That's different, Hasan.
Till I die, CNN will be on my fucking TV.
Would you
and
rather
NBC and Big Bang Theory?
Would you rather be on your phone every 10 seconds or like Family Circus comics? That's the real binary.
The Virgin phone looker versus the Chad Family Circus clipper.
They would staple them, and it would be like, man, we're in the 7th grade. We don't like the Family Circus. What are you, gay? Like,
oh my god, yeah. Somebody needs to. That Meme Keepers Twitter needs to make a fucking Virgin Chad meme with something to do with Dream Keepers.
Oh my god, yeah. Do like Dream Keepers as Family Circus. That'd be good.
Yeah, that too.
Here, just do this comic. Put it in the circle, do the dotted line. And at the end, they make a joke about going to church on Sunday or whatever.
Actually, I wonder if you could. That would almost be a fun meme generator. Is take the circle format. You can plug in any random Dreamkeeper's image, and then it will cross-plug in a random Family Circus word balloon.
Yeah, there you go. It like mixes them up. It takes the images of Dreamkeepers, but the format and word balloons of Family Circus, and we create the next big art project.
It would be like a panel of Genevieve getting impaled in the word balloon. I'm not so sure about Grandma.
Yeah, that's good.
Well, I'm trying to think of something funny. Mace like seeing Paige.
Yeah,
in the
there you go.
bathroom or whatever, laundry room. Like, what would he say? Wow, Mom really went crazy with the spaghetti.
Yeah. Whoa, what's with all the tomato? God.
There's actually a lot of potential for this.
People in chat are listening.
my
like, what the fuck is Family Circus?
Yeah.
What is wrong with these people? Like, listen.
Family Circus, don't you know your artistic history? This is
Yeah.
the roots of everything we do here.
Yeah.
It's like Jim Davis stuff, except somehow less funny.
Somehow even worse.
They found a way.
That's funny. A circle comic put into a fucking square newspaper.
No,
incredible.
It's how he stood out from the crowd. He's like Thomas Kincaid, but he didn't become a millionaire.
Reading those comics always makes me feel like I'm spying on some family through a pirate spyglass.
Yeah, like maybe that's the point of it. Is it's erotic.
I'm not gonna go there with that. Oh my god.
The Family Circus, an erotic reading experience for some,
Family
but
Circus
not all.
voyeurism.
Now I want to sort of retitle that comic, and because that puts a whole new layer on it. Just all you have to do is just change the title to Voyeur Circus.
And a lot of underage characters, potential for incest. Like, yeah. Like,
This would be great on Tumblr.
Like every single comic is like from the point of view of some creep with like a spyglass a mile away.
Oh no,
a mile away.
No, hold on. But just in the chat, poor Billy is here, and he's from the UK, and he's like, "Yeah, we don't have the Family Circus in Britain." Like, so whatever we're talking about, we probably sound like lunatics. Like this,
well, there's always that risk.
No, it's just funny because obviously English-speaking country, but just that they're not. Like, and that's like a weird Americana sort of thing where it's like treading on that people who are like way too into the Norman Rockwell stuff, but without the taste or the craftsmanship.
Or anything.
Yeah, it's
wow, that's a little family. I used to think the Vikings ones were kind of funny.
Oh, Hagrid the Horrible.
Hagrid.
Yeah, Hagrid the Horrible. I used to read the Sunday. I used to read the newspaper comics religiously as a kid because I've always liked comics, obviously. And I read all, even like the ones I didn't like the Lockhorns and Marmaduke and Family Circus. I would read every single one, and I would just think about which ones I liked the most and least. Most of them sucked.
I always hated Garfield.
Oh, Garfield sucked.
Family Circus.
Garfield.
It's so stupid. I have no idea how the fuck Garfield has survived so long. Like
Garfield has survived by being very inoffensive.
Yeah, but like, there's nobody out there buying Garfield anything.
Okay, no.
You don't think so?
I read about this because I was curious. When Garfield first started to take off in the 80s, Jim Davis made a mandate that for a year they could sell no Garfield merchandise because he didn't want things to get oversaturated. And even to this day, he's very, very particular about what they will and won't merchandise Garfield for because he doesn't want too much of it, because he wants people to know what it is but not be upset by it. Just be aware of it.
Well, it upsets me, Jim. Mission failed.
Well, it doesn't matter because motherfucker hasn't had to draw a comic strip in 40 years and is a millionaire.
Yeah.
So,
how are you a millionaire from that? Like, how is that like? Oh, people are gonna love. Like, how was fucking like Steve Ditko fucked over by Marvel and Jim fucking Davis?
Exactly.
Like, Jim fucking Mr. Garfield. What is this fucking planet?
Hazen, you always give me this one, so I get to give it to you now. Is how you talk about people being stupid idiot cattle who just run towards a thing they recognize.
Yes.
That's what Garfield is.
Boomers
They're like,
running
oh,
towards
I know what
Garfield."
that is. I know what he looks like. I'll buy a Garfield suction cup thing to put in my car. Remember when those were everywhere? That's why.
Yeah.
No, I don't. But I'm sure it happened.
It was a big.
When are they gonna make Garfield butt plugs?
I mean, Garfield's had 2 theatrical films. Garfield.
Yeah, I don't think any of those boomers watched those and liked them. Maybe they did.
That's the thing, though.
I just remember they had a Chihuahua that was supposed to be Odie for some reason, and
They
he was
were
like
designed to be-
dancing to Black Eyed Peas.
They were just designed to be recognizable and inoffensive. They were supposed to be like, you watch this to pass the time until you die. And then you don't think about it again. It doesn't upset you. It just happens, and I make $8 per ticket. Like, no,
Fucking-
Garfield's insidious. It's crazy. But
Dude,
it
fucking
worked.
Bill Murray on Zombieland when they're like, I'm sorry
Yes,
that we
yes.
shot you and you're gonna die, dude. Like, but do you have any regrets? And he's like,
Garfield, maybe.
Garfield. Yeah.
He says Garfield, maybe. Yeah.
Maybe Garfield.
I'm amazed they let him get away with that. Like,
he probably really does regret doing that.
yeah, he was Garfield in 2 of those fucking things. Garfield, The Tale of Two Kitties. That was the
man.
second one.
And then they got Dan
Fuck
Aykroyd
you,
to be
Charles
what, Yogi
Dickens.
Bear?
Oh yeah, I forgot that even. See, but they're
There's
designed.
like a Yogi Bear movie no one saw.
They're designed. Well, enough people see them that they're profitable, but not so many people see them that they become oversaturated. They're like these ultra fine point profit margins. They're really creepy. I think wasn't it like Justin Timberlake was the little bear?
I think you're right, actually. Yeah, he was Boogie. What is the little bear's name?
Boo Boo. That's right,
Boo
Boo
Boo,
Boo.
yeah. I'm gonna punch you in your picnic basket.
Someone in the chat says I had a Garfield Trapper Keeper as a kid. That's awesome. That's awesome. The movies were awful. Yeah, I mean, I can't imagine the Garfield cinematic universe is particularly worth watching. That's boomer life in a
The
nutshell.
Garfield cinematic universe.
I don't understand the appeal of Garfield. No, that's the whole thing. Is it's just designed to be. This is like a documented thing among like marketing professionals. Is that Garfield is just designed to be recognizable at the point where you're just cognizant of being aware of consuming it, but not so much that you're annoyed or upset. Nothing like that. Just the most. It's like it just toes the line of you are aware of what this is, what it looks like, what it is called, and you are this likely to buy it, so profit. It's like it's weird.
Just consume it and forget it.
It's like there's studies on it. I've looked into this because I'm a comics guy, and I was like, what the fuck? Why would anybody like Garfield? It turns out nobody actually does. People just know what it is. It's really weird.
That's the power of marketing, when you can get something to be profitable that no one actually likes or cares about. It's actually kind of impressive.
Yeah, it is. Like it's horrible, but it's also like no one's favorite character is Garfield. No one writes essays about Garfield. No one does like unironic fan art of Garfield. I mean, I'm sure there's some people, but you know, like most of it's just irony. People make fun of it. It's a joke. But made this guy a fuck ton of money, and he doesn't have to. And Jim Davis, like I said, he hasn't drawn a Garfield strip in 40 or 50 years. Brother doesn't give a fuck. Like,
yeah, you cannot say that he is unsuccessful. If his goal was to be wealthy and accomplished and recognized, he certainly pulled it off.
He created a newspaper strip that ran forever, had multiple spin-offs, and he doesn't have to do anything. Like Like he's just like, oh cool, I just make money forever and I don't gotta do shit as long as I'm not too annoying. Like just don't be too obnoxious. Just keep writing lame, lowball jokes forever. It's not a noble life to live, but it's certainly a profitable one. That's your lesson from today's stream, everybody. Write Garfield. Don't write Infinite Jest. If you do that, you'll kill yourself. I have to.
Gabe says he enjoys the Garfield gets thrown out the window. Tomic on Twitter.
Is that a Twitter account?
He showed me that a couple times. Yeah, it's just every Garfield comic, but at the end it's just 2 panels, and at the end he gets thrown out the fucking window.
Okay.
No matter what happens, the fucking one of the funniest things I've seen is the Garfield without Garfield comic.
Those
Garfield,
are great.
dude. Jim Davis wrote the intro for the Garfield minus Garfield book because it doesn't matter. Like the guy can just do whatever he wants.
And actually, I will say this is a nice segue too into our previous conversation about like, oh, jealousy drives some people and it's bad. Because I'm not sure if you were here, Bone, but I was saying, oh, the way you avoid that is like if you're looking at someone. Yes. If you look at someone else's Twitter numbers, be like, oh, well, am I able to do what I want? And would I rather be doing their work? No, I'd rather be doing my work. And then just focus on making what you like. And that's kind of like a good way to avoid the whole like metrics, jealousy, blah. And I think the Garfield is a perfect example because if you're looking at someone on Twitter and you're like, oh, they have more metrics than me, it's like, well, you know who has more metrics than them? Garfield.
You've all been more metrics by Garfield, you idiots.
So if you're worried,
that's why Asterios tried to latch himself onto that shit for so long.
What did he try to latch?
Because he thought he was good. Garfield. He was trying to latch onto that for forever. First it was Porgs, and then it was Garfield. I don't know what the fuck he's doing these days, but he would always try to latch himself onto things that are like that weird, like consume and forget type of things.
He tries to get into that like kind of like hipster, ironic, like oh it's pop culture, but oh I'm only.
I think that's what he wants you to think. Yeah.
Sure. I mean, it's a market. Like I've met those people, the weird pop culture hipsters. They're fucking awful. So
they're insufferable people.
Yes, they are. But Dave, do go on.
Like maybe some of them just like the stuff, or they think it's. I don't know why.
It's hard to gauge.
Huh. I guess I haven't.
Sorry to interrupt you, Dave.
No, it's okay. I'm just thinking about like pop culture hipsters, and it's like, well, maybe they're happy.
No, that's not possible.
Not that one.
Yeah, okay. But anyways, if you're ever like looking at some artist and it's like, why does their account have 40,000 followers and I've been working so hard? Oh no, it's like focus on, do you like doing what you do? Do you like your own work? And
it's
a good example is Garfield, because like Jim Davis has more metrics than that guy and you combined, and Jim Davis is kicking everybody's ass in the metrics game. Would you rather be Jim Davis doing Garfield? Would you rather just give up your own work, throw it in the garbage, and be like, now I draw Garfield for the rest of my life a little bit?
You don't even draw Garfield. You just supervise.
Yeah. But it's like, so if it's all about the metrics and the money, and you're like, oh, I totally do that because it's good money. It's like, good. You just discovered that you're wasting your time in art. Go be an investment banker. You'll get way more money, way easier. Just do some other career that is about money, because that's going to pay off way better for you if that's what you want. But if you actually care about the work that you're making, like, don't be jealous of people and metrics, because that's like being jealous of Garfield, who has the best metrics of anything ever. It's like, that's just the way the cookie crumbles sometimes. That's just how human nature works. It doesn't mean that what you're doing is not worthwhile. In fact, sometimes the stuff with the biggest metrics is popular for reasons that you do not want to envy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's something that keeps me going, because I'll my metrics fucking suck, but at the same time, I only ever paint or draw things that I enjoy, so that's pretty good. Like, not the worst thing that could happen. Like, I wish it was a bit more thankful, wish it was a bit more profitable, but, can't have everything. So, what do you get out of life?
I think we're working.
I think I'll work up to something. We'll see. We'll see where it goes. But I've been at this a long time. It hasn't led to anything huge, but I paint things I love every day. I work with a lot of people I really like and respect and think make awesome stuff. So, and it's like, well, it's not the most profitable thing, but well, I guess I can't have everything in life.
Well, the thing is, like, when you create something that's more than just like some touch and go, consume and forget type of thing, people have to, especially if it's like not motion, like not like animation or moving around, people have to take a minute to decide whether or not they like it, whether or not they want to read it. And sometimes it can take years of just throwing shit in people's faces over and over until one day they're finally like, you know, I've seen this before. I'm here at a convention or some comic book store or something. I see this book. I know I've seen this before, and they pick it up and look through it, and they're like, "This is okay." Then they make the decision to buy stuff.
Some of the biggest false start readers are people who are like, "Oh yeah, I followed your work for a long time. I knew what you did. I liked the porn. I kept seeing you upload that comic. I never read it, and then I did." And then they're like, "That shit was crazy." And I'm like, "Yay!"
Yeah, it's just a very slow burn if you're working with not like Hollow Live or something like that, some huge company that can just instantly grant you fucking millions of fucking dollars and followers and shit.
What is Hollow Live?
That's the fucking VTuber company.
Oh, is it? Okay, like, that's...
Yeah.
Do me and Dave need to turn into anime girls that draw comics? Like,
it might help. Yeah, it might help.
Oh, speaking of anime girls, I've been meaning to bring this up the whole stream. Did I tell you guys I bought like a fuck ton of anime figurines for like nothing, and I got them all today?
What'd you get? Did you get any Dragons Maid stuff?
It's all Evangelion. Just heads up. So.
Ooh, yeah, that's good too. What all did you get?
I got.
You gotta show us your haul one day.
I will. No, I was gonna do like a quote unquote unboxing because like none of them were in their boxes anymore. But I thought I was buying 9 figures, but it turns out I got 13 figures.
Hey.
Yeah, and some of them are ridiculously sexual. So apologies to anybody who didn't want to see that. Just saying, but it's a lot of Asuka, Rei, and Mari. But if you guys want, I can put them all on camera. Just show you what I.
I definitely want some Mari in my.
You like
eyeballs.
Mari? Okay. Here we'll start off with Mari because I pulled this one out and her head was originally off, and she's
damn.
Yeah, she's got a posable.
Her
head.
and Asuka are the peak of that show. Female character wise, Mo.
But yeah, this one was a little odd because you have to set her up to be leaning against something because the figure leans so far to the right that it just looks ridiculous otherwise.
She's right. She's far right.
Yeah, this is my far right. Mari.
She's red pilled boys.
My new far right red pilled Mari figure. But this is actually from the second movie.
That's good. That is good. Yeah.
This is what she wears at the beginning of the second film when she's piloting the Unit 5, I believe. Brief sequence. But dude, I don't even know where to put all these because I thought I was buying 9, and then there were 13. And I was like, where the fuck do I put all these things? So they're just all over my studio. This one here, this is a Rei that I got. I did not know I was getting this. It's obscenely sexual, so this is like,
I don't know if you should show it on stream.
They're not, none of them are nude, but this is not normally something I would buy. This is like one of those figures that lies down. It doesn't stand up, so
they have ones that lie down.
Yeah, no, here I'll get rid of the painting for a second so we can show off these horrible things I bought today. Yeah, see, it just lies
Toy
there.
Time.
Yeah, people like them. People like to see what I'm up to, so here I am buying weird pervert figures.
It's cute. I like the stockings.
Me too, but yeah, it's you can definitely see. There's your panties. So here you go. Enjoy that. Yeah, like I don't have any like panty figurines, and to suddenly have some, I'm like, oh no, am I a bad person now?
AJ's giving you the side eye. It's like, you better stay gay.
Listen, it didn't come with any cowroos or anything. Like, that would have been cool, but 2 more, Asuka and Mari. I like the Mari one. But like, they were so cheap, and like, they were nice figures, and I was like, oh, I can use these as commission references. Why the fuck not?
Yeah.
Oh, this one's glasses are broken. I just noticed. Oh, whatever. Don't worry. I got it. For
I was telling Hazen about this. I also have a fun, getting more than I expected story to share after you're done with figurines.
Oh boy, it's gonna be like I said. I got 13 of these things. But people like to see my figure collection, so these have been added to it. I might give some away as gifts. Like, I don't even know what to do with all these things. It's so many. It was an influx.
You should give them away as like a contest or something for people that sign up to your Indiegogo mailing letter.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, get Evangelion figurines. These ones.
Yeah, you got it.
These ones are all part.
Not too early to start pushing that newsletter out there, by the way. Our newsletter, that mailing list, that pre-launch page. You got to start pushing that because, like you were saying, you got to put something in people's noses like 1,000,000 times before they're like, "Hey, what's this thing?"
You got to show them Garfield 1,000 times before they understand anything. Yeah, but this was like a set of Mari, Asuka, and Rei. So now I've got all these like figures of 14-year-olds for my studio, so that's just great to have around.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, you know. Why do you have these? Those look like fully formed adult women.
It's weird to think. It's weird to think that the girls in Evangelion are, like, canonically speaking, supposed to be younger than the girls in Lucky Star.
Yeah, because they look like adults. Like, let's just be honest, they don't really look.
Oh, and there's the jar.
Oh God, no! That's paint water. You fuck. That's why.
Oh, sure it is.
That's why there's eyedroppers in it. Oh, that lighting's terrible. I'm trying to figure out where to put my camera so people can see my.
It looks like an actual scene from Evangelion with the lighting.
Yeah, no kidding. Like I said, there's so many of these fucking things that I got today. This one is like Asuka and like I don't know, some kind of outfit.
I like the base they're standing on too. It's
base.
Like the nerve thing. Yeah, those are cool.
That's pretty typical for Eva figures. I've bought them. I bought one for my brother and it had a similar thing. Once again, you can see her.
I don't usually buy figures and shit, so I never really get to see any of this. But
you can see her underwear and everything.
They're fun to collect.
Which that's new for me. Underwear figures.
Somebody sent me when I was like kind of had like an actual audience streaming Dark Souls 2. Somebody, it was a joke that I was really into Lucky Star. Somebody sent me a Konata figure. It's on my shelf over here actually. And like I had that thing for years, and then one day it fell over, and I picked it up, and I noticed like up the dress, like there's actual like panties and shit up there, and I was like, oh wow, like just like weird details they put on these things that come from Japan.
It's a really weird. This is a little small Mari they threw in. Another, and then this one's got some of that weird. Another Rei. See, these are both separate Reis. They're just kind of similar-ish. She's just standing there looking demure. I got these for like next to nothing. I got these for like next to nothing though. So I was like, yeah, why not get a bunch of.
Everything comes with a cost, Bone.
I guess my soul.
What are you gonna keep them all? You said you were gonna sell them or give some away.
I might give. I know my brother really likes Asuka as a character. I might give him one as like a Christmas gift or something, so I can save some money. But
yeah, that's a good idea.
But these are the two. These two are.
What did you get them? Like off like a Craigslist thing, or?
A friend of Chad's was selling them because he told me the story. It was like, oh yeah, she's like, it's just like some girl that he knows, and she was getting rid of them because, oh yeah, like a guy online was buying these for me because he thought I'd put out or something, but I was engaged, but he kept buying me these figures. I was like, these are not
classic.
I was like, these are not cheap, like, as a figure collector. like to get 13 of these things for some woman that's already engaged. Like, don't do that. Because all that's
some
gonna
of those
happen...
things are like $60 a piece. Yeah.
Oh, they get to be a lot more than that, buddy. I kill.
I'm talking about like the small ones.
Yeah, these are
I
decent.
can't believe she went through with the engagement after 13 figures.
13
Yeah, how could she
Evangelion.
not fuck that dude?
What does it take?
What's a guy got to do to get laid? Am I right,
like,
fellas?
that's how it works, right? Like when I go to a bar and I see a woman I want to take home, I'm just like, look, you see all these Evangelion figures? I will buy you like all these if you want them, and then like I can cash those like statue figures in like as tokens for sex later.
Yeah.
And she's like, yeah, I'll go ahead and give you an advance on the token. Actually, that's how it works. That's how you pick up women, dude. Buying figures.
I'm pretty sure
when they're engaged to another man.
Yeah, so she was finally like, hey, we're moving, we're getting rid of stuff, and these were brought to me by, like, some creepy guy online, and I'm not into them. Does anybody else want them? I was like, I might take them. What's the price? They gave me the price, and I was like, yeah. So I don't think I had some Ava models that I'd built and painted. I have my Ava Unit 6 over there, but I didn't have any of the characters, so like normally I don't buy sexy girl figures. I have my 2 Kill La Kill ones, that's kind of it. Now I have a ton of these things, and I'm like, whatever, they'll make good reference. These 2 I'm showing right now are kind of cool. It's Asuka and Rei, and they've got these cool bases that are like the Evangelions themselves, like the mechs. And they just sit on them. I was like, oh, these are neat.
Cool.
So like they're really nice. And like I said, for a guy who collects, price point was pretty nice. And then here's another. Yeah, here's the. Oh, that was the Mari that leans. Yeah. So yeah, now I have a fuck ton of lady figures, and I have to rearrange all my other figures to figure out where the hell to put them all. So. Exciting day for me.
Figure the figures.
Yeah. Exciting day for Kit.
Yeah, I got a different kind of surprise yesterday, actually.
Oh, did you get sexy anime figures?
No. Might be better. I'm not quite sure.
Oh, okay.
But so I was unboxing some wall scrolls because I got replacement orders in for like a couple people over the summer. They got their wall scrolls, and the post office was like, "We really like these. You can just get the 2. We're gonna keep the scroll." So they're like, just to let you know, Dave, the wall scroll didn't make it here." So I was like, "Oh, no problem. I'll get it taken care of. I'll replace it." A lot of stuff happened this year, so replacing took a little longer. But I was unboxing all of the stuff to package it yesterday and replace it. And one of the containers had replacement wall hooks and caps because one guy was like, "Oh, the wall hooks and caps like got lost for mine or whatever." So I was like, no problem, I'll order some more. I'll spot you. But when I was opening it originally, there was like in the plastic bag, it's all crinkly. There's all these little plastic pieces. But then also in there was like, it looked like a bag or a folded like piece of canvas or a satchel or something. And I was like, oh, I wonder what that is. It was just like padding for the package. Maybe I'll find out later. So I go and open it all up in the basement tonight and I unfold the thing. It's a massive Chinese flag.
Wait, what? What the? Who the fuck sends you a
just? Well, apparently China. They were like, hey, so you're, and I looked to see where I could order wall scrolls from. Surprise, China was the only country because I literally was talking to manufacturers, being like, hey, I know the type of printing this takes. I know the type of fabric it uses. You have all this stuff. Could you just put some poles and some tubes on this and some hooks, little plastic hooks? It's real easy. All of them just like shut me down. So this is the only place I can manufacture them at. It's like, okay, well, I mean, every other American company does it, whatever. But apparently they're just giving out free Chinese flags that day. So if you can think of something for us to do with a massive Chinese flag, we could do it now.
Yeah, no, I
can think of some uses.
I had a bunch of those that I need to do. So glad you finally. Do you really just have like a giant Chinese flag over at your place?
Oh, they got him.
Oh, the Chinese
got him.
him.
I'm here. But yeah, I've got a giant Chinese flag over at my. So if China does take over, I'll be set. I'll just fly that out front of my house and be like, "I'm good. Don't worry about me." And they'll be like, "Oh, okay, he's cool."
You'll say it like that, they'll kill you.
No, they'll be like, "You sound like one of us. This is good."
If I've got the flag, it should be like just visuals speak louder than words, right? It's the language, the universal language, flags.
My Chinese cousin, she just got pregnant, so maybe she needs a giant Chinese flag for her giant Chinese baby.
Her giant Chinese baby.
No, it'll only be half Chinese because her boyfriend's Korean. I don't know how her family let her get away with it.
Oh, whoa,
yeah,
no.
Yeah, Kevin, South Korean Kevin. Hey, that guy's a saint. That guy puts up with everything. He's a good boyfriend. We'd all be so lucky as to have a Kevin in our life.
South Korean Kevin, we love you.
Dude. Oh, he was at the wedding. You wouldn't remember. Don't worry about it. But it would be one of the 3 Asian people at my wedding. Oh wait, no, there were 4 because Grandma Kong was there too. That's right. She was the talk of her town back in China, having gone to the big American gay wedding. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. She had all the gossip.
What was it like?
No.
Did they get cheese on your burger?
No, they were really because it was not only like big American wedding, like that's a big thing over there, but it was a big American gay wedding. Like she was the talk of the town, having gone to the big gay American wedding. No one else in her village had experienced that. So I say village, but her quote unquote village has a population of 2 million people. So you know.
Oh, it's a big population.
It's a big village. That's what she refers to it as a village. Let's see the comments. Everybody making fun of me for my anime girl figurines. I want to see all that.
Yeah. Just a reminder, the comments get read in the Bonitis Twitch chat. I don't check the comments in my area during Snake Pit.
Yes.
Sorry.
Oh, dude, but someone in your chat, Dave, is asking, want to become famous by followers?
Oh no, that says wanna be shown famous.
Yeah, it's all.
I should probably get a moderator at some point to
just get a night bot or something.
Dude, no, one of those bots showed up today, and before I could even ban it, the whole account was already banned. I was like, oh, within seconds.
Whoa.
Let's see.
You know what's weird too is if they keep on doing that, it's working on somebody.
Yeah, I mean it's gotta. Let's see what the comments are saying. Pokimane forgot to flush. All right, off to a good start. Rename the stream to Figures Unboxing. Yeah, well, I like that orange red suit. Ah, yes, it's for work. I mean, it is, and also now my collection looks a little nicer. What the fuck is in that jar? It's just paint water. It's just paint water. I know the cum jar meme. I'm sorry. They're literally I use the paint water jars to keep my camera stand up because they're heavy, so they can prevent it from here. I'll actually show you guys. I'll show you guys.
Nice.
I'll show you guys my cum jars. There they are. You can see the cum jars that hold the camera up.
Gabe's sitting right beside me. His face is red from laughing.
Who's next to you?
Gabe.
Oh, no, tell Gabe we said hi.
The guy was asking about the cum jar.
Yeah, man.
He can hear you.
Those are my cum jars. So there you go. Those are my. I wish they were cum jars. They're just paint water. You have to clean them out. It's a pain in the ass.
I wish they were too. It'd be a lot funnier.
Yeah.
Do you not know how to do that?
Yeah. Can you teach me, Dave? Can you come over and hold my hand?
Can you teach me how to cum jar?
That'll be my next CouchCon panel. It's how
to cum jar. I like this comment a lot. That's not an outfit a 14-year-old should be in. You're probably not wrong. But I own a figure of it now, so I'm the one going to hell.
Yeah, it's weird how Japan does that shit. Like the way they pick ages for their characters, or just like what target demographic they're going after. Like Sonic, all the Sonic characters are like 12 to 15 years old canonically.
Uh-oh.
And there's so much fucking porn of Sonic characters.
Well, listen, I'll never forget. We were drunk. Me and my brother, we were drunk and partying together, and I forget what the fuck I forget how it came up, but We were talking about Evangelion, and this line is burned in my brain. But my brother drunkenly slurs at me. He just goes like, "It's so unfair. Those girls are 14." And I'm just like, even me, drunk as I just was like, file that away forever.
Yeah,
like,
you could be like all the female voice actors on Twitter.
Yeah, exactly.
And just be like, I'll do Asuka porn voice stuff for porn, but she has to be aged up. Looks exactly the same. Yeah. Nothing has changed. They just say, "Oh, she's aged up. She's 18."
Aged up. She's like,
yeah, she's like, aged up, dude.
The way
it's
they're
okay.
drawn,
Patreon won't ban me now. She's aged up.
It's the way they're drawn. It's obvious this is supposed to elicit a sexual reaction from men. I'm not stupid. I elicit sexual reactions from men.
We've all drawn girls here. We know. Yeah.
But like, isn't it stupid? We have to say this shit. Like, it's so ridiculous.
What's ridiculous is you just do like an Asuka's best girl joke on Twitter, and you'll have some person who does not follow you. They don't interact. They don't follow with anybody. Like, they have no like degree of separation from you at all, and they'll somehow see, they're like scanning Twitter for shit like this, because probably they have a bunch of child porn on their computer or something. And they're just like, "Oh, you like Asuka, huh? You know she's 15. She's you're a pedophile." Like, they just fucking go nuts because they're like trying to probably cast any suspicion possible onto like some random person, because they have some like people who don't have weird shit on their computer don't fucking think like that.
It's a weird obsession, and I don't get it. But that's they're cartoon characters. They're drawn. People have imaginations, and now I have figures of them. So if you have any dirty thoughts, just assume I'm thinking all of them, because I don't care.
Yeah, and like, no one should have to fucking care what someone looks at a fucking cartoon character like. Let's worry about people fucking with real kids.
Yeah, like that's much worse.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know. It's funny that my surprise figure acquisition could lead to this, but it's the stuff people those people will jump at you. They are crazy. They're weird. They're obsessive, and they're definitely.
It would be different if it was like somebody who ever interacted with me before, but like
it's always
just
some
like
out of the blue nowhere that's like has Google
it's not
alerts
like
turned on.
It's not like I'm going on Twitter like full like no mental filter at all, being like, "Boy, I sure would like to fuck Asuka. Huh, she's so beautiful." Huh. Like, it's some weird fucking like digibro guy. Like, it's just like, Asuka is best girl 12 years running. Ray people are kidding themselves, right? And then like you see somebody come in like that, it's like, okay, obviously you have some kind of problem.
Well, and it's funny because my favorite's Masato, and I don't have any figures of her, and she's the adult one, so go fuck me, right?
Yeah, Masato's cool.
I like her.
I like how
she's a good character.
Yeah, I don't know.
She's a nice.
She reminds me of one of my teachers.
She should.
I'll say that.
She's like a cool teacher.
Yeah.
She's
the cool teacher who kisses you and sucks your balls and drinks alcohol.
She gives you alcohol too. That's the cool part.
Oh yeah, she did give Shinji.
She just leaves it around. Like, if Shinji wants to drink, Shinji can get drunk. Like, let's just say.
But he's just kind of a fucking pussy, so he just never takes her up on any of it. Whatever.
Oh, Shinji, you fool! You could have fucked Masato so many times.
He's like fucking ready to get kissed and fucked and shit, but he's just like, "Oh, beer, that's off limits for me, Shinji."
That's off limits for me.
Yeah.
She's an adult, not interesting, says chat. Off to a good start.
Remember that fucking Futurama episode where like Leah shows up in some online chat room and the guy's like, she's like, "I'm not a girl, I'm a woman," and like one of the guys is like, "I'm scared."
Yeah, I'm scared. Yeah, that sounds about right.
Her diet is on point of military life. Yeah, that's based on what I've seen. Yeah.
Misano, more like Misojo. Y'all need I don't even know what that means.
My shoujo, I think is what he's going for there.
Mommy GF. Yeah, she's definitely like the MILF character. Poor Dave having to put us with us talking about the different girls from
Mommy
Evangelion.
GF. Mommy GF bringing me ice cold beer and tendies.
I'm cool with Evangelion. I think I saw it in
Evangelion.
Evangelion?
Evangelion.
Shinseki Evangelion.
I've seen Evangelion.
I've seen that jelly show.
Close enough. No, I actually really liked it. I like all the different. Well, there's the show, there's the first film, and then there's like the new film. It's like such a confusing
There's
franchise.
like a bunch of insane way to watch it.
But that's
like,
what I like about it, is that it's so wild and all over the place. Like there's so much to it. Like it's just fun to dig into. Like people get really hung up on the details, but I'm just like, no, there's a lot here, and it's all crazy. Give me more. All right, yeah.
I like the original series and then the ending movie a little more than the rebuilds, but the rebuilds are still really fun. Plus they have Mari. But the thing I like about them is just I like fucking old like 80s, 90s anime shit, dude. That fucking tinted. Yeah, that tinted like fucking screen tint shit they do. Or what is that stuff called that you put on there to shade?
Acetate.
It's called screen tint.
That's acetate.
Acetate shit, yeah. Like I don't know. There's
it's
something
gotta
about
look
that.
to
like,
it. It's gotta look. That's hard
Cowboy
to replicate.
Bebop. Yeah. That's the only thing that was missing from the Animaniacs reboot is that like kind of moody, dark sort of color that was and the other ones that just didn't have that. But they're never gonna do that again. That's never gonna happen again.
Oh yeah, like Cowboy Bebop even. 2 years later, Sunrise, the studio that did Cowboy Bebop, they stopped using acetate. They went full digital 2 years later. So even Cowboy Bebop was.
I can't blame them, man.
Yeah, it's a pain in the ass. Like I do it myself, and I'm just like, oh, this is a huge pain in the ass. I understand why people do it digitally. I do it this way because I find it enjoyable, and people find it really interesting that I do it that way.
Doing it that way for like images or a comic is different from doing like a fucking feature animation with kung fu moves and stuff too. It's a lot more frames. People who do it in comics and stuff, that'll probably still happen, even though it's very strenuous to do. I wouldn't want to do it, but animation, you're never gonna see that shit again. Hang it up.
I mean,
it's gonna be weird. We're gonna be looking at those older animations and being like, "Wow, we could never do this now. Look what they were." It's gonna be like looking at a medieval, like Gothic cathedral, where it's like, we can't make buildings like this now. Why not? I don't know, but for some reason,
can't do it. It's impossible.
It's like we can't, or we don't, or it's not economical. It's like, well, kudos to those guys when it was like the Stone Age figuring out how to do it. Because damn.
That was what they had to work with. That was literally the only way they could make that shit work. But like, and look good. But like now there's other ways around it that people don't seem to mind so much. You just get some backlash on Twitter like, oh, I really don't like this stuff. I don't like Cal Arts. But like, people still watch it if it's good.
If
Cal Arts is just too much. Like there's too much of it. They went past the Garfield scale. It's annoying to see it.
See,
yeah.
You get the Garfield thing. Everybody gets it.
Yeah,
it's not that annoying.
The thing is, I think the Garfield scale only applies for stuff that is calculated to be bland and inoffensive. Like if there's something that's really, really good. Like every time I see Cowboy Bebop, I'm never like, oh, if I saw Spike's face one more time, I'd get really annoyed. I'm just like, yeah, that was awesome.
That was good.
It's also a very inspired thing. Like with weird touch and go shit like Garfield, it's just like they can't show it too much. It will get annoying.
It's very clear many of the team members at Sunrise that were involved in the Cowboy Bebop project felt very strongly about it, as opposed to Jim Davis and Garfield, where he probably did not feel particularly inspired. Or there is the very, very strange. Have you guys seen there's like 1 week's worth of Garfield strips where like Garfield goes on like an existential trip into another dimension? This happened back in the 80s.
These were original strips?
Yes, when Jim Davis was still drawing it, and it's like Garfield goes to another dimension, and it's all this stuff about like art and creativity and integrity, and they're just like really out there, and there's no real jokes, and you're just like, what the fuck is this? And then it just goes back to, oh, John, where's the lasagna jokes next week? Look up, people call them the quote-unquote lost Garfield strips. They're not really lost. It's just people don't really think about them because they're not what you think of when you think of
They get
Garfield.
memory hold.
But it's like, this is like the one time Jim Davis was like trying to be an artist and being like, listen, this sucks. I hate it. My integrity. And then he's just like, but the money's pretty good for those sucker pod car things. So, all right, here we go. Look it up sometime. They're worth reading because
super duper.
They do not strike you as anything near what you would think a Garfield comic is, and they never happened again for a reason.
Interesting.
Well, it is. It's 10, and I'm gonna have to actually get out of here. You guys keep going if you want, but
no, that's a good. We can leave it off on the Garfield proxy. That's a good place to leave it. I've got to finish painting this guy, but
plus I got to get good bedtime action habits going. So yeah, let's call it a successful snake pit. We've everything from Garfield to Chinese flags to LLC and S Corp and tax insurance structuring.
And then back to Garfield again at the end. You just can't escape.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, this was good. I was looking forward to this all week because we barely got to do it last week. So, good talking to my buddies. Good talking.
Yeah. Thank you everybody for listening and for commenting, and I hope you had a good time as well.
Yes, thank you, and thanks new subscribers. Good to have you guys here. I should have this new guy, this dragon dude with the balls, done sometime over the next week. So.
Cool. I'm going to get this prelude finished up probably in the next few days here, and I'm also going to be streaming tomorrow at 2 p.m. Eastern some more Sharpie doodles for the backers, because that's pretty popular, and I've got more to do, so I'm going to stream some more.
People like those Sharpie doodle streams, apparently. You never know.
They really did.
You never know what's going to hit. I've been trying to stream more throughout the week, but it's another habit to build. We will see. Plus, it's what can I work on that I can stream. So
it's like any other habit, like going to the gym. It's like you don't have to start out being like super Mr. like on the spot expert. Just as long as you start. And
I gotta get back to the gym this week too, though. So gonna be busy. I was sick. I didn't go to the gym.
Yeah, busy.
But all right, we'll be back. I think next week we're good for the same normal. Hi, Ditko. You know what? We never put Ditko on camera, and I know people like to see him. So. But we'll be back next week at the same time, right?
Yeah, should be.
Same snake pit, same snake time, same pit place.
Yeah.
Amazing. All right, good deal. I don't think I'll have new sexy anime 14-year-olds to unbox, but hopefully people enjoyed that little segment.
I guess we'll see.
We'll see.
Your metrics go through the roof.
Oh yeah, I mean, hey, if it's paying the bills, I'll keep buying the sexy anime girls. Yeah, people saw Ditko on the camera. He ran in. He does this new thing where he runs into my studio and sits down as fast as possible. I don't know what it is. He's weird.
He's trying to increase his efficiency.
He gets in there really quick. He's like, all right, and comfy. All right, good. You're a goober, Ditko. You're a goober. But all right, we'll be back next week. This was awesome. Good to have everybody back. Good to be through another CouchCon. We got 2 under our belts. 1.5 if you're me, but I'll round up. I'm making.
This has been Snake Pit, ladies and gentlemen.
It has been. Wow, listen to that applause. All right, you guys enjoy the rest of your Saturdays. Bye-bye.
Good night.